workhorse. That is a workhorse. So you guys, you're getting a great movement, automatic movement, a beautiful piece. Yeah. Thing is hot.
I agree with you 110%. That NH35A, out of all my watches, actually, guess what I have in here?
There you go.
Yep, inside of my diamond ripsaw, I have the NH35A on the inside. That is I'm glad you brought up that point, Kev, is that, I mean, this is a robust movement. We're number one to Time Module Inc. for this particular movement out there. It's 24 joules, 6 different vibrations every single second. That's 21,600 every single hour. The movement is put together and it's assembled by hand. And I mean, to have that, and then on top of that, just it's accurate, it's robust. Yep. And like I said, out of all my watches, this is the movement I have most, bar none. Right. And it's always been reliable, never had issues with movement, and you do get that sweeping second hand for the time. So I'll wind it up here to go on. And a 41-hour power reserve. So, I mean, you're getting that power reserve, and that's really simple. I think sometimes people get intimidated about mechanical movements. They grew up like with all the quartz movements from the quartz revolution, right, and they're just like, it just works on its own.
Yep.
It does too. All you need to do is just give it a simple wind, and you're done. It's easy.
Yeah.
Now, the size on this watch register out at 54 millimeters, but it's 50 that's touching the wrist because that's what the case back is on this watch. It's at Subaqua Noma 3. We got a big reflection here. Oh, right here. You can see limited edition. This is that exact watch that you get. This is for $999.90. And on the website, I think it was a couple grand before.
It was.
And so what we're doing for these podcasts is that we're just going to open it up out there. We're going to give you guys a chance. Like when you got your number one, it was just by chance.
By chance.
It was by chance.
Yep.
And that's how most everybody has done until we started doing these podcasts.
Yep.
Or maybe some people went on the website and they paid the premium price for it.
Right.
Still a great deal because there's such a big story to be able to tell. And just like you were saying, Kevin, I mean, this watch alone on the wrist, the size of it, the design, the colors.
Yep.
553 diamonds along with it. I mean, you imagine like people be asking you about this watch and be like, by the way, 2,000 were made, and this is stamped the number one out of all. I mean, what a cool story to tell, right?
Cool story.
Yeah. So, I mean, with this, you can see all those diamonds just going along, and we'll get over to micro. Maybe we'll do that with the tourbillon here just a little bit later. But you can see those diamonds are just popping on the inside of the dial there, unidirectional, rotating bezel. And you want to put this watch on your wrist? See how it works?
Let's check it out. And okay. Since we're on Shaq, we could talk a little bit about a piece that I brought.
Oh, sure.
That is a Shaquille O'Neal piece.
Yeah.
So let me get this one off my wrist, guys.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to ask you about this, about your watches here tonight. I know you brought in a few.
Just a couple.
So here you go.
Oh.
So now you have to put it on upside down.
Yes, upside down.
Upside down for the camera.
Yes.
That was the first I was ever on TV. It was at 1 a.m. at Shop HQ. It was called Shop NBC back then.
Right.
And I had this other model training me in.
Right.
And he's like, all you need to do is when you get the watch, you just have to put it on upside down. So it's right side up for the camera. And the host, I don't know if you remember her, Kimberly Wells. So it was 1 a.m. and she had like 18 pots of coffee. I mean, she was just like, she's always full of energy, right?
Right.
And she's like, oh, look at this. She's like, oh, look at this. We have someone new. And she threw the watch, not at me. She just lofted it up in the air.
Yeah.
And I caught it and I was like, oh, and I was so nervous. Like my hands were shaking and I just put it on my wrist. And of course it was upside down, which is, it was upside down. So I'm just going to move this a little bit for that camera. Cool. It was upside down for the camera. And then she called me out on it. It's so cute. Look at the new guy. He just can't even put it on the watch right. And yeah, she never let me live that down. And still to this day. And, but yeah, tell me what you think that you actually put the watch on your wrist.
Yeah.
Hold it up just a little bit right there. There you go.
I mean, guys, I got this on the wrist. We got gold and black. We got diamonds. We got the bling bling. We got the fusion here. This thing, I'll tell you what, you could wear this with anything.
Yeah.
You could wear this with anything. Honest to God. And just the snake skin. You see, we all know the snake skin on this piece, right? Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I can't get over the Herc bezel. It's just, it's beautiful.
It's solid. I mean, just beautifully polished on this timepiece. Everything is polished on it. There's no brush finish. There's no matte finish. Everything is just like chromed out, but just like if the watch was just done in that stainless steel, but we've done the plating on it to give you the pops of gold, the pops of black, and then just the diamond dials. And then the diamonds on the outside, you'll see on the different stations here to just, again, added sophistication, added elegance. This is number 1 out of 2,000. And Shaq's a cool guy. I met him, I'm just thinking it was only here. I think it was only here. But he Skyped in back when I was in Minnesota. But
Right.
Have you ever seen him being in Florida? Or
yeah.
What's that story?
Yeah, so I got a story with that. So Orlando, Invicta Stores Premium Outlet.
Yeah.
Shaquille O'Neal came in. This store is here in my heart. I've hosted a few collector events at this location.
Okay.
And Shaq came in and he, did a meet and greet.
Yeah.
And the line was wrapped around the Invicta store. It was wrapped around. And here comes Shaq walking down. This guy's the real deal. And he's shaking everybody's hand. We're all waiting in line to go meet him. And I walk in and I'm kind of have the same outfit on that I have today. And he says, "You from New York?" And I'm like, because I was talking and I'm originally from Pennsylvania. He thought I was from New York. And I says, "No." I says, "But I'm from the town of Scranton." And it's affiliated with the TV show The Office. So he and I did some band back and forth. And I actually had my Shaq piece with me. And
you did.
I asked him to sign it for me. And he looked at me for a second. And then he said, "Oh, he must be signing the back of the watch."
Really?
So this one here.
Oh, here. Can I hold it and show the camera?
You could show it up.
Oh, no way.
Yes.
Oh, check this out. Well, first of all, look at the watch, first of all.
Yep.
Sub-Aqua Specialty, one of the top designs. Now, this is not for sale. This is Kevin's watch that he's showing. He brought a couple watches we'll show here tonight. Yep. So now Shaq's signature has been on the backs of watches before, but it's part of the design.
Right.
Look at what Shaq did. Right
Check that out, guys.
Right there. That's cool.
That is Shaq's signature on the case back. So when you look at this specialty watch and you see that number 1 sitting right below it, you could have a number 1 Shaq piece right there below my Sub-Aqua Specialty.
Yep, right underneath.
Yep.
Shaq timepiece right here. So question is, now I see there's just a little bit of wear. Have you worn this a couple times?
Okay, I'm glad you brought that.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Parts twice, and he signed the case back with an actual paint pen. So I thought by using a paint pen, it would have been enough to stick to the case back where it wouldn't smudge or wear.
Yeah.
And I had worn it twice, and you see a little wear on it. So I've been hesitant on putting a protective coating over it.
Yeah.
I haven't done enough research to figure out what actually is a good coating to put on it, but I haven't worn the watch.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah, I haven't worn it.
I wouldn't either.
I haven't worn it.
So up at the store in Orlando, I haven't been up there yet. I'll come up and visit you. We'll go up to the store at some point. You drove down here. I'm going to drive up and see you. Now has he? Because at the store at Sawgrass here, he's been in there and it says Shaq was here with an arrow pointing to, I think, which is actually the top of his head, the height. So 7'2". Is that up there also? Or
yes.
Is it?
Yeah. So when you walk in, the back wall, it's yellow, and then it has his signature, and it's just as tall as him. And it's funny, I have a picture with him and I side by side. Yeah. And he's sitting on one of those bar stool chairs. And he's sitting, and I'm 6'2". He's sitting, and he's as tall as me sitting in the picture. And he shook my hand. When he could grab a basketball with his hand and hold it, I shook his hand. It was like, wow.
Yeah.
It was like unbelievable.
It's funny because he was here and I got to meet him face to face. I'm just under 6 feet.
Yep.
And funny because I was showing you the corporate office there.
Yes.
Inside that front door, there's called the Lupa Lounge. And he and I were both sitting there. And I got a photo of the two of us, but he didn't look that much taller than me just sitting. And he might have kind of been scrunched a little bit or whatever, but then like, his hands are huge and just when he stands up, then it's just a different story.
Different.
But here we go with the watch. We're going to spend just another minute on here. 585 diamonds, I believe is what it was we were talking about. 553. And, maybe you have a Shaq story too, or maybe that you've met him at one of the stores, whatever happened to be, or just a big fan. Here's your way to get it. And you're getting that number 1 out of 2,000. Number 1, you guys. And the thing is, too, we've had this case design. I mean, the Sub-Aqua number 3, the 8 that we just debuted the other week, or last Friday, was, a little bit of influence on that bracelet. This is a patented bracelet that we have, and everybody just loves this design. And, the Sub-Aqua number 3 for me, too, I think it's probably number 1 out for me out of all the different, nothing against the others, but if I had a favorite, I'd probably go 3, but I have every one except a 2. I don't have a 2.
I don't have a 2 either.
Don't?
No, and I'll tell you what, this piece here, if I was to buy 2, and I'm not just saying this, that right there, look at it. Look at it.
Yeah. All right. We're going to move on here. So again, first one who checks out gets it. So, and you can shop ahead. Go off to the side, or if it's on your phone, I think it's on the bottom. Just scroll ahead. You can see what's up there. We have equal number of number 1s and also just other timepieces that aren't just dedicated to be number 1s. We're going to do one more number 1, couple other than random watches, and then we're going to find out more about you because I want to find out more about you too.
Talk a bit more, and I see Trap Vision 3D is in the house.
Trap Vision. Who's that guy?
He's in the house.
I've heard of him before.
Yes.
He's oh, you know what? Maybe I went sailing with him the other week.
I think you did. I think I saw him 2 weeks ago in a dream. I think I've seen him.
That's right, because that's right. I had a dream, and then you had the dream like right after mine because I don't know. He just appears everywhere. It seems like.
Good people.
And good guy. Follow him. Trap Vision 3D on YouTube and on Instagram.
Yep.
He's doing lives. That's actually, in a sense, how we sort of met video to video the first time. It was just a few. What was it? Couple months ago?
Yeah, it wasn't
even that long ago.
2 months ago.
2 months ago, and then just asked you if you wanted to come down. You were like, "Yeah, I really appreciate you." Doing that, man.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so here's the next one. We got another number 1. Let's show the case back here, and we'll show you the number 1 and get that pass. I'm just trying to look and find out where that. Here it is. So if we go over here, you're going to see right at this point, limited edition. This is number 1 out of 999. And so we're talking about Jason Taylor. We were talking a little bit about him before. Just an amazing, amazing guy. This is a tourbillon. And so it's a specialized movement, and I'll talk more about that here in just a moment. Price right out the gate, $999.90. This is just for a tourbillon, especially on this Kraken. I think that's a pretty good deal. It's exceptional though when we're talking about a number 1 limited edition. The model number is 34209. You'll see the case back right here actually has, excuse me, it's a mechanical, so there's not an automatic that's a part of this, and it's a tourbillon. And this whole design started way back, like in 1795, before by Abraham Louis Brigade, because back then things were pocket watches. And so if the watch was just in your pocket, it would stay isolated, it wouldn't move around much. The whole thought was that the gravity would be pulling down on the little internal components, and thus then warping those and making the watch, timekeeping inaccurate. So what it is, it's a rotating cage that just keeps on moving around and makes one full revolution every minute. Right in here, get as close as we can, Jaime, and you're getting into this tourbillon movement, which is just absolutely miraculous.
It's beautiful.
And, we don't do too many tourbillons. That's actually something I have to get as a part of my collection. I don't have a Torby yet. Do you have one?
I have a couple.
You do? Okay. So there's one that I do that I've been holding out for. I just got to find it, and then I'll pull the trigger on it. It's a bolt deuce with a Thunderbolt bezel that has meteorite, tourbillon, and diamonds.
Oh,
you get everything with that one watch. Yeah.
Oh, I got one close to it. It's a Venom hybrid fusion. It's the black one with the meteorite dial, tourbillon movement.
Yes.
No diamonds, but
yeah.
That one you're talking about, you're adding diamonds, that's a whole nother animal right now.
Oh, all right. So this is number one. And the Kraken. I mean, this design, I love it. I think I have two different Krakens. One is a quartz, one is an automatic. And I'm just fascinated by this. I mean, Kraken is a mythical sea creature that was terrorizing the Scandinavian, seaways, and the seafaring vessels feared it because it was like this. Think of it like as a monster octopus.
Yeah,
it's just really pissed off.
Yeah,
all the time.
Oh yeah,
and so and you look right here, and you'll be able to see right along here is like the tentacles of that Kraken. The scale design is it's arced and curved like it would be like for the tentacles. The scales are a part of that. And what's really cool is we have this silicone band that's a part of it. You see that brick of silicone on the back, which is really cool, and it's done in that blue. Then once we're looking at the bezel of the watch, the bezel represents the waves like of the sea. So you have two different parts of the wave are called the crest, that's the uppermost, and the trough is the lowermost portion. And I can't even tell you like what our design team, how they're able to create this, I think it's a couple different pieces that are actually then put together to be able to create that. High polish and a matte finish also, raised Arabic numerals on the crests. So cleverly designed. And what I like too is like every single aspect about this watch has a little bit of that rounded nature, no real sharp edges or anything like that.
Cool. That's cool.
And I mean, with this timepiece, 200 meters of water resistance, and that movement too, the caliber is a TY 800. And if you're looking at the Swiss variations of it, this is from Siegel. If you're looking at Swiss variations, tens of thousands of dollars just to start out to get in that tourbillon. There's a really big story with tourbillons. Do you wear your tourbillons often, or?
I do. I actually brought one tonight to show you guys.
Okay.
The single tourbillon movement that Ryan's talking about, guys, you're pretty much familiar with it. It is also a workhorse. It is a workhorse. It is a very good movement. Mm-hmm. I haven't had any problems with the Siegel tourbillon movement. Yeah. And this piece here has it. Beautiful piece. You know what I love about this one too, Ryan, is the bracelet. It has that bend to it.
Yes.
To conform to your wrist. So you get a little bit more comfort, and it's more, form feeling to your wrist.
Yeah. Look at it. It expands out and then it tucks in.
Look at that.
It's a brilliant design. I have one that came out. It was just with the rose and the black. I think it's got the Z60 in it, I think.
Yep.
And then I have a blue one with the white silicone and a gold bezel, and it's got an abalone shell with the R150 on the inside.
Nice.
It's a cool watch. I had that one on the cruise, actually.
That's cool.
Funny thing is, coming from Minnesota down to here,
right,
I would say more of my watches, over 50% of my watches are bracelets.
Right.
Well over 50%.
Right.
And I gained a little bit of weight.
Yep.
But then too, just being down in the humidity, I think my wrist is bigger than what it was.
Right.
And so I have to figure out where my links are.
Your links.
I have a box of them. I still have to go through. But that's a lot of my bracelet watches are too tight on me right now. I like to have just a little bit of wiggle room. I know some people like to lock it down tighter.
Right.
But yeah.
No, I agree. I have the same story. I've also put on a couple extra, and
going for a beer after work's not going to be helping that for either one of us tonight. So,
hey, it's your birthday. Hey, it's your birthday.
Yeah.
But using the micro adjust is usually the fix. That'll work.
Exactly.
But sometimes, you guys, it's just that sweet spot where you got to get that extra link. Mm-hmm. Like Ryan's saying, you got to get that extra link in there, and you got to adjust it out.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. And let's I was just looking at look at this. Julio said, proud of you, Kevin.
yes,
Great
Julio.
job.
He's a GM at the Orlando Invicta.
Oh, cool.
We're gonna meet Julio.
Oh yeah, we'll
Monday.
meet when I come up. Okay,
Yes,
yeah, I'd be
yes.
happy to.
Yes.
You two are crazy. Travis is saying, good evening, family. Mr. Tony White is here.
Tony in house.
Godfather was saying, sweet tourbillon, gorgeous tourbillon. Anthony, that's Anthony in New York. Let's see, what else is, I thought there was something else. This is the first watch that I like the band better than the watch. Oh, and that's, I mean, there's a lot that goes, I mean, the watch I think is extremely creative.
Right.
In of itself. I mean, it's a work of art all the way around, and it's a tourbillon. We don't do too many of those, and this is number 1 of 999. So, all right. Well, we're going to move on because we're about half hour in over, and we still have some watches to get through. We got to talk about you. We're going to be talking about the cruise and stuff. So we're going to continue to move on, and we're going to go to number 4.1 and 4.2, which is going to be, excuse me, from the Venom collection.
Ooh, Venom.
Now, being in Florida, have you ever met Venom, Kevin?
We've never met. He's actually hosted a collector event in the Orlando location.
He's done the Orlando. I know he's done. Did he do one in New York too? He's down here though. I know he's done a few.
Yep, he did Orlando. I think he did New York, or he was going to.
Okay.
When that location was open, but yeah. So he and I got to meet up at some point. In the Venoms, Kevin, right? Venom Kevin.
Or maybe he and I will take a road trip up there and see you.
Yeah, that would be super
do that.
cool. That'd be super cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to move on here to the next item. I'm going to shut this real quick. So we're looking at Venom, Reserve Venom, which Reserve with Invicta is just top of the line, the best, everything that we make. So we're looking at for either 2 different color choices. So you'll see them off to your screen. We have a silver tone choice. That model number is 45485, and then also the gold version, which is 45487. These are not number 1s, but what they are is they are, excuse me, they're $239.90. So to get a ghost variation of a tourbillon, and I'll hold on to the silver tone, and you hang out of the gold,
sure,
and kind of give me your take on this watch too. But the metrics on this timepiece is, this is a mechanical automatic, so the rotor's on the inside, 21 joules for the LG 0801 movement. And being that ghost, you have the crystal on the front, crystal on the back. You can actually see your finger through. So what happens is the movement is so highlighted on the inside, such as the mainspring right here, the balance wheel. So if I unscrew this watch and I just wind up a little bit, you'll see the balance wheel's already starting to move right there. 6 different vibrations every single second. Everything is moving up here with the mainspring. And this watch happens to be that 1,000 meters, which is just totally over engineering. I mean, over engineering. There's not even a practical purpose for a watch to be this, except it's bragging rights for us, because the other watch companies really can't achieve this. A lot of them out there, I mean, huge majority. And you have to have the right design equipment, or you have to have the right designers, you have to have the right know-how, pressure testing equipment. And I think it's 1,500 pounds, 1,000 meters down. Wow. 1,500 pounds per square inch pushing on that watch to make it fail. And this watch surpasses that.
You know what I think that's called?
What's that?
Invincible.
Invincible. Yep. Invincible. Yep. That's Invicta. Invicta means invincible. So here's the thing: is it's reserved $239.90. I think this is a great buy to be able to get into Venom. When I first started with Invicta, we were selling Venoms. I mean, we were selling Venoms. It was a good deal to get. I actually remember one of my first remotes. There was a Venom. It was rose gold with a black strap on it.
Right.
I think it probably had a G10 inside of it, or a 5040D Ronda, and it was like on sale. Bottom pricing was maybe $450. Otherwise, we're selling for $500, $600 all day long.
Yeah.
This is a bracelet variation. Both these versions completely chromed out. you get then just that super cool look of the ghost variation here, and you get actually okay, so this is the Venom Generation 3, because this bezel is actually 20 individual components. You see that? You see how that's 20, the 12 different screws.
You see that?
The 6 different bricks.
Wow.
And then the outer ring and the inner ring.
Yeah.
That makes up 20 different components just for that nice, smooth ratcheting bezel on the timepiece right here. Venom's in your collection.
Yeah. Venom fusions.
Yeah, that's right.
Probably 25 of them.
Okay, well, you have a Venom fusion right over here. We'll talk about during after another watch here. We'll get into you and about you.
Yeah, and to your point, this one, Ryan. The Invicta and these pieces, they're layering the detail. Like Ryan's saying, it's all layered, layer after layer after layer. So when we look at the pieces and the movements and the complications, we all have complications, right?
Yeah.
Well, they're putting complications on the dial or the bezel. They're putting complications throughout the piece.
Mm-hmm.
That is unbelievable, Ryan.
Yeah, and just completely chromed out. You get the upgraded Flame Fusion crystal for the timepiece, and then, of course, that reserve badge on it, meaning the finest that we make, typically more unique designs, smaller production runs. Just top quality components are a part of it. You can see that balance wheel just moving back and forth ever so perfectly, turning the watch around. You get to see the keys back here too. And there's that rotor too. So when you're wearing the watch, that rotor will turn, and then that's automatically winding up the watch for you. So just a beautiful timepiece out there. I have a Venom. I got it a number of years ago. I got it actually, I think, off the Sunday Run. First time the Sunday Run was out.
Cool.
And it was a Venom, just pretty much like this, Generation 1, all silver tone. It had an interchangeable strap and bracelet.
Right.
And then it had the Valgrange on the inside too. And there was a collector on the ship that said, Ryan, I've been trying to collect all those. I don't have them all yet. And yeah, he was very much in admiration of that timepiece.
I can see why.
But yeah, let me just show the gold here really quick in comparison. So doesn't cost any more if you want to get in that 18 karat gold plated variation. So it's whatever your preference is on the wrist. Any updates here?
Yeah. Bob Cohen's in the house. He said he's loving the pieces.
Well, there's somebody whose handle is, what channel is this? Is this JTV?
I see.
Yeah, this is not JTV, but I'll have some more JTV shows coming up here in early December as of right now. So yeah, so just after the holidays. But let's see, Bling Bro Jake. He's a Floridian. Actually, Jake, where'd you come from? I actually spoke with Jake. Jake, I have a photo of you I'm going to show during the cruise segment. Cool. He's over on the west coast of Florida. Okay. On the Gulf side, and he's going to make it over for one of the podcasts.
That's cool.
Super cool guy. He's one of the 4 Bling brothers. They're out on the ship here. Great guys. Nice. So I have a photo of them I'll show during that segment here.
That's super cool.
All right, well, let's move on, and let's see. We got, I think we're doing, how many have we done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just do one more, and then we'll get to you. So we go silver and then gold. Pardon me for just a quick second. Yeah, any other comments on there?
Yeah,
fire away, brother.
We got Richard Suffin in the house saying, "What's up, Jake?"
Yep, another Bling brother.
They're saying another. Yep. They're all saying hi to Bling Bro Jake.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Yeah. So that'll be cool. Jake will make his way out here at some point.
That's going to be a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. Good guy. Good guy. So just like everybody, and that's what I want to get into about that cruise too, is like, just the fellowship out there, just everybody just gets along. I mean, it'd be so nice if the world could be modeled after a cruise. And it's just, it's not only the Invicta collectors. I mean, all of us have this great camaraderie, but you're in the elevator with somebody, you just say something nice to them, or they say something nice randomly to you. Just wish the whole world could be modeled after that.
I wish. And you know what? All we could do is keep levitating to each other and interacting with each other and be positive and hold the door open for the next person. That's what we could do.
I hear you, man. All right, well, we're going to move on. Now, we're going to have this design in a couple different fashions tonight. One of them is Kevin's pick. It's the Grand Octane, but we're technically calling this version, it falls under the Pro Diver collection. So it's the Grand Octane, but it's a Pro Diver version. So what we have is we have some diamonds on the bezel. We have 168 on either of these variations. Bigger timepiece is at 56 millimeters. The price for this watch is, with the diamonds, $539.90.
Oh.
And when we came out with this design, this is cool. Like the bezel's all high polished, and then it's like a patinaed like case. I'll give you the black mother of pearl dial to check out and give your take. But look at this. We can get in really close. The case is done in that weathered type of look. This just isn't a matte finish. It's like that patinaed, distressed, weathered look. And then it's alternating with a very high polished bezel. And same thing for the bracelet. The outer links are done in that distressed finish, and then you get this super high polishing for the inside. And then, of course, beautiful mother of pearl on this version here of the 45764 white mother of pearl, and then the one that Kevin has, 45765, is going to be that black mother of pearl. Swiss-made Ronda Z60 on the inside. So you're just getting into a beautiful caliber of a movement out there that's going to give you your perpetual seconds, date of the month, 30-minute chronograph, and then your day of the week. We're looking at 405 grams, so that's going to be roughly 13, 14 ounces, not quite a pound. 454 grams is a full pound. Diamond hour markers going all the way around. Beautiful timepiece. As I mentioned before, this is $539.90 to be able to get into this beauty. So, yeah, you got the watch in your wrist.
I did. I flipped it around. You know, guys, these pieces are beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
They are absolutely beautiful. You know, look at this piece here.
What's your take on that distressed finish?
That to me is the cream of the crop, as Randy Macho Man would say. That is unbelievable. I love it.
Didn't he also say step into a Slim Jim?
He did.
Go ahead, step into a Slim Jim.
Yes.
Yeah.
But beautiful piece. I mean, it's all there. It's all there. And the color on that dial. I mean, look at the color on that dial. You know,
I can't tell. Turn the watch just down a little bit the other way. Is it black?
It's like a black.
It's like a black platinum or something.
Yes.
That's hot. I mean, I love the white. The white is crisp and really clean. That version you have is more dramatic. You know, there's I don't know if you ever saw it. I really, really wanted to get it. It was a 50 millimeter Sea Hunter. And it was a Sellita SW200 on the inside. It was a black leather strap. And we did that distressed look, like even more dramatic. I mean, the watch was actually pitted. It looked like it was in the ocean for a while.
Yep.
And it started to, you know, take the effects of just being the steel in the salt water.
Right.
And then there was the mother of pearl dial, but it was that mosaic pattern of her propeller.
Nice.
And that watch, I wish we could bring it back. That would be something super hot. I have a couple of those different Sea Hunters in that 50 millimeter, and just beautiful, beautiful timepiece.
That's the big boy right there. Yeah.
So speaking of that, is this too big for you or not? You can wear 56 millimeter?
I could wear it, yeah.
Easily. And what size is your wrist?
You know, I really, you know, I never
really. Your wrist is bigger than mine, but you're probably, I bet.
7.5 or
7.5, 7 3/4. Yeah, probably
like
around there.
Yep. But not too big. I mean, 56.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, my sweet spot's 52.
Is it?
Know.
Okay.
56, I'd wear this, you know, all day long. This is a beautiful piece.
Yeah, just under a pound. You know, most of you have to size some links out, but got the white mother of pearl, which is 45764, and the black mother of pearl is 45765. These are not number ones. They're just amazing watches here that will command a presence on your wrist when you do have them on. So, all right, well, we'll move on here, and I'm just going to start asking you a couple questions about you, Kevin. So we're going to go white dial at 5.1 and then the black. So, okay, just give me the download about you. So what drew, first of all, here, how about this? What drew you into collecting Invicta watches?
Well, what drew me in, Ryan, was back, I'd say 2010, 2011, I'd walk through JCPenney.
Yeah.
I'd be with the kids. I'd be walking through the store, and I go to that glass case.
Center display there in the middle of the store. Yeah.
In the middle of the store.
Yeah.
And I'd gravitate to that case, and I would walk up, and I'd see this big, hefty watch. And I in my mind, I'm thinking, this is a watch Arnold Schwarzenegger would wear. It was that big. It was that impressive. Yeah. And I said, you know what? Could I see that? And she'd take it out and she'd give it to me. I put it on my wrist. And of course, it wasn't size, but I would hold it and look at it. And I'd show the kids. I love this so much. And every time I went to Penny's, I was hoping it was there just so I could touch it and see it and put my hands on it. And then kids are young. I could be spending the money on the kids. That's how I'm, family man that way.
Yeah.
But when the kids got old enough and they're out on their own working, I said, now it's time for me to get that watch.
Sure.
So that watch that I'm talking about, guys, is the Coalition Forces. And I brought one of them today, and this one is a Grail piece. We all said Grail.
Yep, exactly. I'll have them, or most of us do. Yeah.
Yes, and this one here, I actually going to hand it off to you, right? If you want to show it on the camera.
Yeah. Let me just wipe off the dial real quick.
This one is very, you guys will see it, you know what it is, sought after. I've only worn it maybe 4 or 5 times, just because it's titanium. So I don't want to put too much wear on it. Yeah. I actually bought an extra bracelet for this watch, just in case if I ever did, get some marks on it. I have a brand new bracelet to put on it that I got from Invicta watch bands, which we all know of.
Yeah.
Great outlet to get your bracelets and stuff like that. But yeah, this one here, SW500. I mean, look at that titanium, the black posts on the bracelet, the pushers and the crown on the case, and it's got the day,
quick change date, right here, and it is titanium. I can feel it in the bracelet. I mean, and it is a little heavier in the case, but definitely lighter than what it would be. I mean, this thing is mint.
Yes,
this thing is mint. Check it out, the custom rotor on the back here. So this is your first Invicta, huh?
Well, it's my first titanium.
First titanium, okay.
But the model, the Coalition was the first Invicta I got, was the Coalition.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
that's an amazing watch you have right there. That is cool. I have one of these. It's not titanium. It's gold plated.
Yep.
And it's got the ISA movement. It's the Anadigi movement. You remember those?
I do.
So we had 2 different ones. One was more simple that we put in like some pro divers and stuff like that. The one I have is that more complex variation where you can do different times, 4 time zones and everything. It's actually a really cool watch. So in that one, I think is down here with me in Florida. I didn't bring all my watches down when I moved, but yeah. All right. Cool. Well, that's an amazing time. So that started you off. You're at JC. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep.
I remember JCPenney. You just walked through. They always had the jewelry display. If you're walking down that main aisle in the stores, you would hit it. You'd have to go this way around or that way around if you wanted to exit and get from that anchor store out into the rest of the mall.
Yes, exactly. And that caught the bug for me. It caught the bug for me. And then, getting to know InvictaStores.com, getting onto the website and checking out the different models, getting into the Facebook groups, stuff like that, and getting to know the collectors. Everybody in here tonight, Bob Cohn, Anthony, Godfather, Trap, Richard Suffin, all these guys that are in the chat tonight. I got to meet them through social media, get to know them, watch, talk. What we're doing right here tonight is reflective of what the community is. And you're a big part of that, Ryan. You're a big part of that. And, it's good to have that connection with fellow watch collectors. And I could totally relate. I'm a car enthusiast. So
Yes.
the car enthusiast part of me and the watch enthusiast part of me, it's almost the same, except we got a watch or we got a car that we're bouncing each other's ideas off of it.
Well, that's actually something I wanted to ask you about also, because a couple things, I could ask you questions all night, but we got to keep everything going. But just to get to know you, so you have this fascination for watches with Invicta, and I know you're really passionate about the brand, and we're really excited to have you here and at the corporate office. But you also are a bit of a car guy.
Yes.
So let us know about that.
Yeah. So I mean, at the age of 14. My best friend at the time, his parents owned a GM Pontiac dealership.
Oh.
And at 14, I was washing cars. He's my best friend. His parents owned the dealership. I was washing cars.
So was it like if they were just outside, you'd go and would you power wash them? Would you take them, drive them into a car wash? Or how would that work?
I didn't have my license, but I would drive. They would let me drive them around.
They would?
To the side of the...
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would drive them around back. And then our salesman, Chuck, he'd go out on Friday nights all the time. And he kind of had too much of a good time on Friday night. So Saturday, he would not show up for work. And so they'd be out of salesmen to show people and customers the cars. So the owner says, "Hey, Kev," and I was about almost as tall as I am now. And they'd throw me the keys, walk the client around the car, just no pressure, just open the doors and the hood and just show them the car. And I levitated to interacting with the clients and the cars, learning more about the cars, interacting with the customers and the clients. Next thing you know, I'm selling 5-6 cars a month at the age of 14 years old.
Really?
Yes.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So that just set the stage.
So like these adults that have jobs, careers, and everything, they see there's a. You didn't look 14 though. You said you were taller. You almost as tall.
Yes.
But you maybe looked a little bit older.
Yes.
Did you have a high squeaky voice or?
No.
You started to hit that.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. Yeah. That worked.
You were selling 4, 5, 6 cars a month.
Yes. Yeah, and I would work weekends, and then I'd work, after hours and stuff like that. After school, a couple hours a night. But I mean, and then just remembering the paint booth and remembering the painting of the cars and wet sanding and buffing them and body work and cars coming in for wheel and tire packages and all these different things going on. It's my eyes opened up, and I just, my first car, my parents got me at the age of 15 was a Camaro IROC. I think it was
what year?
87.
Okay.
It was 87. Okay. It only had the 5.0 in it, and it was a 5-speed. I wanted the 350, but they opted for the 5.0, not the 5.7. But I was happy either way. But the neighbor said, "Why are you buying your kid a Camaro for his first car?" And they said, "Because we trust him." And
the owner of the dealership trusted you to help him in his business.
Yes.
Yeah. So did your IROC, did it have I forget what they're called, those black things on the back?
The louvers.
What are they called?
Louvers.
Louvers?
The louvers.
And you had a little spoiler on the back too, and was it the red and orange lights of that vintage, or I think it was close, or was it? Is that the same?
It was the red lights in the back. It had the spoiler, and the louvers were aluminum.
Yep.
On the back
black
window.
Yeah.
Yep. And this particular one was red with the gold bottom on it.
T-tops or no?
T-tops. So
cool.
Really fun fact with that Camaro growing up in Pennsylvania, we would drive in winter, being 15, 16-year-olds with the T-tops off and the heater blowing in the car. Just to have the T-tops off to say, we're driving in the winter and the snow's coming down.
I get you, man, because like even in Minnesota, you have the sunroof open, like in the car or whatever, in the winter, and get a little bit of that blast of cool air, but then you get the heat coming from below. Or my dad had a couple different Chevy Impalas. He had a 72, I think, and then he had a 75, big baby blue with white interior. and we would go for rides on Sundays. And in the fall is the best. He put up all 4 windows, and then you just crank the heat.
Yep.
And he'd listen to his classical music, and we just drive around. It was great,
That's super
great memories. So
memory.
I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
So now, what do you have for a vehicle now?
Yeah. So, of course, we got the grocery daily driver car.
Sure.
But I have 2 toy cars. One muscle car. It's a 99. If you guys are familiar with it's a WS6 Ram Air Trans Am. So it's the one that has the big nostrils on the hood.
Mm-hmm.
And the commercial for that car was when it was behind another car at a red light, it would eat up the car in front of it, and it went through the car and out the exhaust. That was and I actually saved that clip. I found it and I saved it on my phone. But it's a 99 WS6 Trans Am, totally custom, vertical doors,
Sweet.
white, gold stripes, pearl white, sound system, you name it, engine, rear end, it's all done. And I did so much with the car, guys, that it was like, okay, I did so much with it. It took me almost 10 years to get it the way I wanted to during the build.
Sure.
I kind of got like, okay, I want to do something different.
Yeah.
So a couple years went by, and about 2 years ago, my recent acquisition, if you're familiar with Transformers.
Yep. I've seen a couple of movies. Yeah.
Yes.
I had some of the original toys growing up. The Decepticons. The one I forgot the guy who folded into the cassette tape. Soundwave, and he had the little tapes that would go and then come out as birds and everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Laserbeak and all the Transformers. I grew up collecting those. So and a lot of us collectors, we collect watches, we collect cars or guitars. I also collect guitars. But like the Transformers, I collected them as a child. So as I got older, collecting watches, and so rolls into, I run across this yellow Camaro with black stripes on it. It's got a 6-speed with an LS3 Corvette engine in it. And I looked at it and I said, that's Bumblebee. And my best friend, one of my best friends, the other one's sitting across the way, is Bumblebee. So I get to drive Bumblebee, and very passionate about the build. Really thought out process. I don't just throw stuff on the canvas. I'd actually, during a build, I'll sit there and think it out, what I want to do, and not overdo it, but do enough. And I've done the inside, the outside. We've done some engine work. We've done some rear end work, gears on it, exhaust, headers, you name it. It's a beautiful car, and there's a lot more I want to do to it, but I got to kind of take a little break from it.
Fair enough. So do you do a lot of work yourself, or do you have someone, do you bring it to a shop, or does someone come to your place and work on it together? And do you wear an Invicta watch when you're on it, or do you take your watch off and just get your hands greasy? You got a beater watch, so you don't care if it gets scratched up?
That's a good point. I do have a beater watch.
Okay.
And when I don't have one on, I am putting the watch on the seat bar with the microfiber towel on it. But I do. I've always worked on my own cars. I noticed as I have gotten older, my patience isn't as much as it used to be, or I don't have the time. So one of my very good family friends owns a shop. And we have been doing this build on the car for the last 2 years. Okay. So we'll do it in stages. I'll get XYZ and we'll get it in on a Saturday, and I'll be there helping and facilitating. And something that I don't have the patience for or the aptitude, we'll get it done. We'll get it done. So, yeah. So
if we could have, I don't have that mechanical inclination to be able to do that. I would love to learn. I mean, it would be cool. Like 3 cars that I would love to do that to, and just kind of go through and restore and get it all done up. I think one would be, I think a 69 Challenger. Yes. All black. Another one would be, I saw it a show a long time ago. I think it was a 1979 Trans Am, like LS1, or is that right?
But if it was a resto mod, they probably did an LS1.
Okay. Again, I'm just going off of photographic memory.
Yep.
And then another one, it's so bizarre. I mean, those two would be cool. And then third one in the garage would be, I had a 2000 when I was 23. I shouldn't have bought it.
Right.
Like, I was living at home and I still probably couldn't afford it. I bought a 2000, it was used, two-door Tahoe.
Yep.
With the big 350 in it.
Yep.
And big block. And I love that truck, but it caused me trouble. It cost me a lot of money. And I put the dual exhaust on it. And it was like true dual exhaust, because I think they're two catalytic converters. Is that right? Two converters. So it was actually true dual exhaust.
True duals.
But I would like to just get one of those, and it would be fun to just restore that because it's nostalgic to me.
Nostalgia.
So,
that's what it's about. That's what it's about. And, it's good fun. It's good fun. There's a lot worse things we could be doing besides, our passion.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
and that's, I love that. I love I'm with you. I love the watches. The cars would be cool. I have my other thing besides the watches. I do like the pinball. Like I was saying, when I come up there, we'll hit a couple pinball places. I collected a couple, but those you can't have 100 of those. So
no, and the one when we say pinball, the one to me that sticks out. I'm a big Rocky fan. Is the one from Rocky 2 or 3. It's the Rocky pinball machine, and Paulie is mad at Rocky, and Paulie smashes the machine, and the lights are all going off. But it's a Rocky pinball machine.
Oh, cool!
I would love to have one of those somewhere in the house. But,
it's a cool thing. It's a good centerpiece. So
yes.
All right. Hey man, that was really cool. I actually relate to some of that and everything too. So
yeah,
that was awesome. Any other crazy facts about you, and we'll get moving on with the watches. But
no, just enjoying life. Enjoying life and family. Family's huge.
Yeah, and
connecting with my friends on Facebook, my family. Now you.
Yeah, you got it, brother.
Here in Hollywood, Florida. Guys, I'm sitting right next to Ryan. This is Invicta Ryan, RJ right here.
I'm sitting next to KJ right here, man. So
we're having fun. We're chopping up and we're having a good time. And, it's awesome.
Yeah. Well, this has been a fun first hour here for us. And feel free. Well, I'll ask you a little bit more about the Invicta community when we get to, we're going to have a couple other segments here in the course of the show where we'll talk about the Invicta cruise and everything else, and probably just a little more of the racing and so. Oh, the modules too. The modules is going to be big. Yeah, I showed Kevin the module for the first time tonight. That'll be coming up after this next selling segment. I really want to bring that out because it's important. There's going to be more that comes along with it. I want people to understand and just see how cool that module really is. We'll probably go over to the microscope for that because that will be a good one to go. So, all right, well, let's move on. And so we just finished with the 2 pro divers. We're going to go to some number ones, and I think this might be. Let me see. I already went through here. This might be one of your picks. Let me see, number 6. Oh, is that up here? Here we go. Oh, you had a different one, but very similar.
Very similar.
So we're going to go to number 6, Renee. And so what we're talking about here is we have, now let me just double check. Oh, okay, so this is going to be a Shaq timepiece again.
Ooh,
we both had our Shaq stories from earlier, which was super fun and just a great all-around guy. He was a partner with us for Invicta for a few years, and I think even he had on his show with basketball, he was showing it's an Invicta watch, and
he did.
I think AL was in the background or something. I think Charles was actually asking Shaq, "What is that? What is that?" And it's an Invicta watch. So what we have here is that Octane, or just similar design that we were just talking about.
Yep.
And this is a number limited edition to 1,000. This is number 1 out of the 1,000, and the price we're letting this go for today is $1,299.90. What I like about this, first of all, it's number 1. We have the NH35A, I believe, for the movement on the inside of this one. We'll just see here in a second. That should just start everything up. Yep, the NH35A. And then monochromatic. So silver tone and the white diamonds. There's no contrast, so it's just all bling in your face with this watch. total of 814 carats and 3.41, or excuse me, 814 diamonds, 3.41 carats.
Wow.
So almost 3.5 carats worth of diamonds, fully loaded for that pave dial. And then a double row going around the station, in between the different stations on this unidirectional rotating bezel. This is at 56 mil. Oh, you know what? This feels bigger. This might be, I think we did. Let me grab the other one.
Yes,
You picked? I'm wondering. Give me a second. This one's bigger, isn't it?
A little bit.
Yeah. So this is 60 millimeters. So
That's
it's
60.
bigger. Makes sense with Shaq.
Yep.
Because I'm looking at it right now.
Sure.
This is 56 millimeters. We're looking at 60. So this is actually a bigger Grand Octane than what they typically are. So
Yep.
Shaq size. All right. Well, that completely makes sense. Let's turn it around to the case back here, and you'll see Shaq's signature is a part of the case back. And I think is number one right here. Is it over here? I think it's right over here above that flame fusion. I'll try to. Yep, there you go.
Yep.
Number one of 1,000.
Wow. 1,000.
Number one of 1,000. Man, like, the numbers that we talk about with Invicta are pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Just like, the number of watches that we're putting out every single, we're doing thousands of different models every single year, and then just the masses and just the global presence that we have with Invicta. I mean, we really reached the span of the whole globe.
Yeah.
I had the opportunity before, we pulled out, and it sort of ended up just not really being too much anymore, Basel, and in 2016. And it was amazing to just see, like, I was working the S. Koifman and Techno Marine booth, and we also had the Invicta booth at the time, and it was like people were coming from all around the world.
Yep.
And they wanted, to get Invicta watches into their stores. They wanted to be distributors and everything, and it was just like, it was so eye-opening to me about just the reach that we had.
Yep.
And by then we pretty much had a pretty good reach all the way around, and Asia and Europe is really big for us. South America, and of course the United States and such.
Oh yeah.
I think Russia too. We have a big presence out there.
That's cool.
But so my whole point is, all these watches that are going out, a certain percentage of all the different models that we put out are limited editions. Now, some are limited editions that don't have a number, that it's a limited edition. So that usually means it's one production run, and then we just move on, and we didn't number that. But then the numbered limited editions, this is my whole point, is that, X amount of watches are numbered limited editions.
Right.
And then out of that, you get number ones. And so it is such a finite number, and it's such an opportunity for you to be able to get in on any of these different versions that we have here tonight. And this watch, just in general, if I sold this watch on the network, it would probably be this price or more for 3.5 carats.
Easy.
And it's the NH35A. It's a Shaq timepiece. We're not building Shaq timepieces anymore. That everything's cool, but the partnership is done.
Yep.
But you're getting that number one out of something that's not even being made anymore. Like you made that point earlier.
Yep.
And this is that number one. This is the one. If all 999 others were sold, they would trade that watch in a heartbeat to get that number one.
Easy.
That you have.
Easy.
And, one thing I would love to see, I've never seen before, is the last number of a production run.
That's a good point.
That would be something cool to have too. So, but here's the attention right now. It's for you to be able to get the number one.
Yep.
814 diamonds, just all glistening here, high polish. One of my favorite bracelets, and hold on one second. Let me just give this a quick little wipe, because I do want to show this amazing bracelet. It's all this cuticle oil that I have to wear to make my nails look good.
Do what you gotta do.
I'll give you some after the show if you really want it.
There we go. We gotta be.
He's just like, no, Ryan, I'm cool without it. Kevin. So here, look at the bracelet. This is what I wanted to show. You can get to see right here. I mean, that bracelet is so fluid, and then just the angles. Look at just that high polish.
Yeah.
Just amazing. I mean, stunning timepiece here tonight. So $1,299.90 gets you that number one Shack super size, which we probably only did, I'm just assuming, a couple of the 60 millimeter Grand Octanes. So when I grabbed it, I was like, God, this thing seems big. And it is. It's big. I don't have my calipers. Oh, you know what? I might have them in my my bag. I brought them. Here, I'll go grab them really quick. I'll be back in 20 seconds.
Yeah.
You take the watch. You give your take.
Yeah.
Count to 20. I'll be right back.
20. Gotcha. All right, guys. So I got it on the wrist. Okay. I'll hold it up here. Now, I mean, we all love chrome, right? We love chrome. We love the diamond. This is a bad boy. This is a bad boy. You know, having it on the wrist, you know, it's, you know, Sea Hunter, right? Sea Hunter, Grand Octane, you know, almost, you know, the same, you know, size-wise, weight-wise. This piece here, it fits. And I know it's not sized to my wrist, but if I flip it, it fits nice.
Look at that.
It fits nice.
And this is one of the biggest watches that we make. We only have a couple watches that are actually bigger. You know what? You can solve that mystery tonight, my friend. You can measure that wrist and you know what size it is.
Let's do it.
Got you covered.
Let's do it.
All right, I'll do some measurements on while you figure out the size.
Okay.
You need me to help, or you can wrap it around all right? Here,
cool.
Let's just figure this out right now, then you know. Oh, just over 7.
Over 7?
7.25, yeah.
7.25?
All right, here. Now you know. Okay, so here, if looking at this watch, we're looking at, let's see right here, for the bezel. Yeah, there's that 60 millimeters right there.
Yeah.
Typically,
Yeah.
here's the other one. Let me just do it in comparison. This one right here, I'll do it behind. So this is going to be smaller. What does that say? Yeah, 55, 56.
Yep.
Bigger watch.
Yep.
Okay, there we go. This one is right here.
Oh, it's nice to have the flexibility of going either way with the watch size, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So, all right, we're gonna move on here to the next watch here in just a moment, but let me just see real quick, because it is that bigger watch, bigger bracelet, because I know everybody has wrists of different sizes.
Right.
Holy smokes. Look at that. So at least a 9.5-inch wrist.
Yep.
So most likely everybody have to take out a link. If not, you want a bigger watch, bracelet. Number one, here's your shot right here. Only one person can get that watch. We only have one.
Yeah.
$1299.90 to be able to get in that Shack number one super size, or grand octane, I guess we could say. So
Grand, yeah.
the grand. Okay. All right, moving on to the next timepiece. And that's going to be another Sub-Aqua number 2 that we have.
Sub 2.
All right, this is number 7, Renee. Okay. Aren't these drawers slick?
They're slick. The drawer on the where Brian has the watches, it reminds me of the drawer on a toolbox. A really nice rolling drawer that we have at the shop where we have our tools in.
Yeah.
Except they're a little bit wider and deeper for the watches to sit inside the phone.
Yeah, you get when you shut it, do you get the soft return on it?
Yes.
Yep, it goes shh, and just a nice.
Yes.
I've looked at those like with the Craftsman and stuff before. Those are cool.
Yep.
All right, well, we're getting into another limited edition here. I think we're going to have one more, and then we'll go to a couple regular watches. But this is going to be number 1 out of 300 for the Sub-Aqua Noma 2. This particular variation has 715 diamonds. It is just shy of 3 carats. It's 2.98 carats on the inside. And this movement in here actually is a Swiss Ronda. 715. So that's going to be a quartz movement, 3-hand movement for this timepiece here. and diamonds on the dial, diamonds on the bezel, and also diamonds on the lugs. The first watch we had was a Sub-Aquanoma 2 and had a few more diamonds that went around for the side of the case too. And it was all done in that blue. So beautiful 47 millimeter. The weight is about 300 grams. Overall profile coming up off the wrist is going to be about 19 millimeters for this 47 millimeter. And if we look at the case back right here, I like this because it's all blue and silver toned, but then we have the black case back. And you get to see that numbered limited edition, 1 out of 300.
Wow.
Like what you were saying, like if you had a choice of 1 of 2,000 or 1 of 300,
Yep.
you'd want the 1 of the 300.
Definitely.
So beautiful case back. Part of this design, we get the 300 meters of water resistance. You get the different screws. So you get the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different screws to lock that watch down.
That's beautiful.
Upgraded flame fusion crystal, and the links are actually on both sides. So that blue plating doesn't just stop only on the top; it carries all the way through every single. You can even see on the middle of the links here. Everything is just absolutely done to perfection for this stunning #1 timepiece. Is a blue a color that you have at all in your collection, or not much of, or not at all? Or
Yeah, I've had some blue, black and blue. I've had chrome and blue, stainless steel blue.
yeah,
I really like the chrome and blue on this color, on this piece. To me, with the diamonds, it really sets it off. The blue just makes that extra pop.
yeah.
It makes that extra pop for sure.
Oh, look at this. I'll bring it in the center just a little bit more. Check that out. 47 millimeters is a sweet spot for me. But here's the thing. I mean, I'll wear my 40 millimeter Pro Divers. I have my Grand Divers at 47, a couple Glycines at 42, which are amazing watches. And, but then I wear the Sub-Aquanoma 3s at 50 millimeters. And then the specialties, like what you have here, those are, 52 millimeters. I love those watches. And I even have 2 Sea Hunters that are 58 millimeters, one with the Sleeta SW200 and a Ronda 3540D, I think, quartz movement variation. So I'm all across the board. This, I think, is just a fantastic size for my wrist, but it'll fit their larger wrists too. But you get that exotic color of that blue that's complementing that silver tone. And I love in that first watch that we had how the blue diamonds, or how the blue plating just really shows off those diamonds here on the bezel for this particular watch.
It does.
And so this watch is priced at the $12.99 also, $12.99.90. And remember, you go to you can go to Invicta stores. I mean, there's all these different watches out there at different price points. We just have 25 that hopefully we'll get through here tonight. And, the amount of time that we're about halfway done, is it going fast, or are you sweating bullets? Like, is this ever going to be over?
No. Good time.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, okay, whatever time it is,
So, yeah, but this is, Invicta stores. We have blankets on there. The throws here for the winter. Winter's coming. There are thermoses that we have. There's hats. There's cards. There's poker sets. Do you play poker at all or not?
Not really.
I don't much either, but I did buy the set because it was just cool.
It was cool.
And I paid more for it than what it was on Invicta stores.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
All right.
That's cool.
So here we go with this timepiece. Again, diamonds all the way around the bezel. You got the blue stripe going through for that center link. And I really, really enjoy the case back. I like how it's just more bold, more profound here. And you really get to see, like, if someone likes that watch on your wrist,
Yep.
and you take it off and they'll look at it and then you say, oh, by the way, it's #1. Now, here's the thing, question, and chime in with anything on YouTube, on the
chat.
On the chat.
Yep.
So here was my take. Like, if somebody would ask me, they would be, hey, they didn't know I was a brand ambassador or I worked for Invicta.
Right.
I'd have a watch on and they'd be like, oh, wow, that's really cool. I'm like, oh, you want to see it? And they would be like, what? Really?
Show me.
Yeah, I'd be like, sure. I was promoting the brand, even if I was telling them who I was or who I wasn't or whatever.
Right.
And people were like, you would trust somebody to like hand off your watch?
Yep.
And I'd be like, I just had to like kind of, I checked them out first and I just made sure that I could catch them. If for some reason they were going to take off, like I could catch up with them.
Yeah.
You know, which leads me just to a random story. I worked at this restaurant by the house I grew up in. It was on the water in Minnesota, and there was speaking of chasing people, it was a restaurant, and I was for the second summer I was there, I worked in a parking lot. It was a gravel lot, and I had to monitor how many cars were going in and out.
Yep.
Had to blow my nose every night when I got back. It was just all dirt inside.
Yep.
But then I got the best job that you asked, which was boat docking and parking all the boats. And that's where I got into more of the bigger boats.
That's cool.
But I was working in the parking lot, and this guy just came running down from the restaurant, and this guy was like just booking, like he was just hauling ass, and it's just like he might even been barefoot, and there's like he ran right by the valet, and there were like it was like Keystone cops, like they have their belts on and just like all their stuff is like flapping, trying to catch this guy. And this one guy goes, "Ryan, get him. Get him." I was like 19 years old. You know, I just like listened. I was like, all right. This guy came running right down the road across from where I was. And I ran after him and I caught up to him in a couple strides. I was actually pretty fast. Right. He had a cigarette. Oh. And so he had a cigarette. I'm like, oh no. And I grabbed him and I saw he had the cigarette. So I think I put my hand on his like wrist here and I kept on twirling him around in the middle of the street. And the cops came and then tackled him.
They got him.
And they got him. But like, and I had this big adrenaline rush after, but it was, I just didn't want to get burned by that cigarette, but I caught him quickly. So that was the whole thing, is if someone saw the watch, or, you know, someone wanted to look at the watch, or I just trusted, then I'm like, I can catch them.
I agree with that, because whenever I hold a collector event, you know, I'll at least bring 2 cases. Yeah. At least 2 cases, 2 15 slots. And I'll try to put, you know, a mixture in there. And when the clients come in the store, they're more than welcome to grab the pieces. Yeah. You know, I'm okay with it. And, you know, they'll ask me, this one, I want this one. Can I buy this one? I'm like, no, I'm sorry. I brought these in to show you when everybody, you know, at the event today, but I could walk you over and we could check out this other one that's similar, but I would let them hold the piece. And I was the same thought process as you, Brian. As long as I had my hand where I could juggle it and grab that, if it was the tip, I was okay.
Yeah. So, all right, we're going to end on that here for this particular watch at Sub Aqua No. 2, 710 diamonds. Couple points, 2 points shy of 3 carats. That's 2.98 carats.
That's a lot.
For this watch, numero uno out of 300 for this amazing design. Swiss-made Ronda quartz movement on the inside for this timepiece. And we're going to move on to our second Torby of the night.
Ooh, Torby.
On a cool. And remember, I still need to get into my first Torby here. So we're going to go to number 8, Renee. And so this variation,
Robert Vega likes the piece that we just showed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Robert was here on the show. Did you catch that?
He was here last week.
He was here. Was it last week or the week before? I think it was the week before.
Week before?
I'm sorry, it's just going past my mind. Yeah, he was great to have on the show, though. And I've known Robert for a long time, and we have to have dinner here soon, so we're going to do that. But
that's cool.
Yeah, he was. I had Robert, and then I had Eric from Invicta Stores last week. Eric. Eric was so much fun. Yep. We bet on the Tyson fight.
Did you?
Yeah, we bet a nice lunch on the water somewhere, and so he bet on Jake, and I bet on I bet on Mike, and so Jake took it, and so I texted him yesterday. I'm like, all right, I owe you a lunch.
A lunch.
Yep. Yeah. So, but I didn't watch the fight because I was doing the JTV show from here, and I think there were like 3 or 4 exhibition fights before.
There was. I think there was 3 or 4.
3, and I didn't watch it, but I just heard that Jake won. But then I heard like they were maybe was a little bit of a weak event or something like that. It wasn't. Tyson could have punched him a couple times and refrained and stuff like that.
Yes. You picked Mike. He picked Jake.
Yeah.
I picked Mike. That's who we grew up with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And that's who we grew up with. We know who he is and what he could do. You know, that's all I say.
Iron Mike, man,
Iron
from
Mike.
Catskill.
From Catskill.
Right?
You know, I mean, and he's friends with Muhammad Ali. You know, Mike is one of the OGs.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the OGs, if not the OG.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it's funny enough, like, you know, I talked about the pinball games. I also like the retro arcade games.
Yes.
And I treated myself for a birthday a few years ago to a full arcade with the 5,000 retro games on it. Of course, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out is on it. And, you know, love that game. And I still actually down here, I didn't bring the arcade down. I just started fresh down here.
Yep.
But it is, I actually bought this little HDMI stick or whatever.
Yes.
And there's like $90. And so I can still get that little fix. Every now and then I just need to just do a little something like that. And then I go back to what I'm doing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's a cool story.
Yeah. So, yeah. All right. Off that diatribe, right?
Yep.
So,
Yep.
all right, we're getting into the next timepiece. It's the second and the only 2 of 2 tourbillons tonight. This is a deal for number one out of $9.99, a Jason Taylor model. We've had a couple JTs tonight, and this is that tourbillon variation. It almost is like, I love the dial, how we have the dial down here. That's the focus, obviously, with the tourbillon. But look at how the dial then mimics, like you're almost going down that cylinder.
Yep.
And you're looking right down at the very bottom here for this.
Yep.
This size, we're looking at, I mean, okay, here's the thing. And I have to, here we go. I just started it up. Now, the case size on this watch is 55 millimeters. Now, you and I both know measuring 10 to 4 is not 55 millimeters.
No.
And so I think it's more 50.
Right.
And this is what, I don't know why, and I think we go west to east, but what are we looking at? 48 millimeters.
48.
So this is even smaller than like a sub-aqua Noma. Now, if we go west to east, and we include in the protected, that's where we're getting the 54 millimeters from. So, I mean, if you want to include that, it's symmetrical because we have the crown protectors, and then we added this extra piece off to the side, so it's visually balanced out with this timepiece. We're getting into the tourbillon on this particular variation, and from Siegel, and it is that mechanical variation. This is number one out of $9.99. Number one. Let me find it on the case back, and I'll show it here to the camera. Should be right here. Number one of $9.99. Oh, tourbillon. It's maybe on this right here. Look at that.
That's got that sandblast look to it.
Yes. Check
Yep.
that. Yes, exactly. So you look off to the side of the case, and again, it's all smudged up here. It's that high polish, but look at this then. It almost looks like that raw gold or something like
Yes,
that, like
yes.
that ingot gold.
Yes.
And then like the high polishing that goes through for that stationary bezel here, rising up, name branded off to the side. Bracelet, super hot. Like looking straight down, it's all that. I mean, this is just such a different look. But then with these little pyramids, these flattened out pyramids, all 4 sides then are high polished. And then you have that, it's not it's a rough finish, but it's smooth to the touch. It's not like sandpaper or anything, but
Nope.
Oh, that's a hot timepiece. And then the blue is not a typical Invicta blue. It's almost like a little bit of a darker cornflower blue on the inside for this watch. And all you get the 2-hand movement right here, hour, minute, and then of course your seconds on the inside because of that rotating cage. 1 full revolution where the second hand is right here. That's 1 little diamond. Then that is part of the movement. That makes 1 full revolution. A minute has elapsed, and those are your seconds.
That's like a spider web dial. It looks like a spider web in a way.
Yeah, a little bit like we've done some of the Spider-Man watches over the years, and yeah, we've done some dials, in a similar fashion to that. But 54 millimeters, you're going west to east. 48 and a half, though, just going between my 2 fingers, which in my opinion, it's easily manageable on the wrist. Check that out.
Looks good on this, but
Yeah, JT logo is right up at the very top. You're just getting into just premier Invicta. This is part of that reserve line, of course, number 1. I think we should do some more plating like this. I think we've only done it on a handful. I know we did on some iForce from a long time ago, but I really like that texture that we've done here for the timepiece, especially with the 18 karat gold plating. It's a part of it.
I got one that's similar in that sandblasting finish. It's also a tourbillon.
Oh, it is.
So Venom Fusion. That one's a little bit more sandblasted, or there's another word they use for it, industrial, like an industrial finish. But a beautiful finish, beautiful finish.
Yeah.
And by the way, before I forget, Kendi said, the OG, meaning you, happy birthday to you in a few hours.
Kendi's on the
chat.
Well, Kendi and I had a great show the other night with the launch of that module, which we'll be talking about here just a little bit more.
Yep.
Thank you, Kendi. I appreciate that. That was fun. You know, we worked together for so long, and we went out and got pizza and a glass of wine the next day at a little place that's here that's actually really good Italian food. And we just got a chance to catch up, and it was really fun. It was a good person. So
yeah, she's good people.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So, all right, well, we're going to move on. I don't know if this sold out yet or not, but remember, you're getting that number one to get in this tourbillon. Jason Taylor, both Kevin and I agree, this finishing is just off the chart. I mean, and then you have, which I think was a great call, though, is to not make the whole thing that same, but you get that contrast of that high polish that goes around those flattened out pyramids, and then also the sides of the case here for the watch and the crown, and one little, that 45-degree angle going off the bezel design here of the timepiece.
Yeah.
Simply cannot go wrong, especially at that price of $799.90.
Yeah, that's a good price. That's a really good price for number one on that piece.
For number one in a tourbillon, I thought all the tourbillons before we did this, they're like $1,200 because they're tourbillons.
Yeah, I remember paying way more than that. It wasn't even a number one. This is a number one,
That's
guys.
a guaranteed number one.
It's like, if you really like that piece, there's only one of them. They're right here, and that's a great price point.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we're getting in here to actually, this plays into a little bit on the ship. I should have maybe saved this watch for later, but it's already out. So we're talking, about the Bolt Zeus, and this watch is at 52, 53 millimeters. It's interesting sometimes because, like at the old network, for some reason, some things would get measured,
right,
like on a watch. Like for example, one of them was there are two of them. One of them was one of them was the Grand Octane,
right,
because it always said 63 and it was like the biggest watch,
right.
And somebody would measure just not 10-4, they would go 9-3, and they had included in the crown. And it was not a bigger watch than the Sea Hunter at 58 millimeters.
Mm-hmm.
But then when they would go through the people who were doing that job and most things, they would see the same case design and they just copy and paste. So it was all, and the Venom too, because Venom's 52 millimeters, some reason it was 54, right, and it's not. And it just always was like off. So this one says 53, we're 52, 53 millimeters for the Bolt Zeus. Now this is that graffiti plating. And the graffiti plating, there was actually on the cruise, I'll be showing some more of here coming up. On the cruise, there was actually a graffiti day that a lot of customers wore their graffiti watches and everything else. And there were graffiti watches on the ship. People were picking them up. This watch, $239.90 to be able to get into this graffiti Bolt Zeus. I'll tell you this, when we launched the Bolt Zeus, it launched here at Invicta, at the corporate office. It was actually next month, 13 years ago.
Whoa.
It was a couple of months after I started September of 2011. And that's when we launched the Bolt Zeus. We launched the Bolt Zeus on a strap, and the price was $499. We launched it on a bracelet, $599. This watch, 13 years later, is what, $239.90, and this is hydroplating. Have you ever watched a video on something being hydroplated before?
Very, very cool process. Very cool. The way they have to have the piece prepped to accept it. It has to adhesion has to happen when it's dipped into the material, the liquid, and each one is different. Each one is different, and this piece is pretty much one of one, even though it's not a one, because every dip is different.
Yep, every dip is different, and there's been some watches where we've done, it depends. And so I'm looking at this watch, and the case was dipped separately, the bracelet was dipped separately, the bezel was dipped separately. So if you look right here, and that's what we're saying is you never get the same one, because the image is floating downside, against the water, so you don't know exactly what you're getting, and you'd have to hit it just perfectly for the bracelet. The same thing with the case, and you all line up. It's like, I think, almost mathematically impossible for you to have that. But if you look along right here where the lugs hit, right here, you'll see that black line actually stops. And so it's different. But if you look at the rest of the flow here, it all goes along for the whole bracelet. Here's my recommendation. Do not size the bracelet like right here. You can, but I would just go as low as you can, because then you're not going to interrupt the flow of the hydroplate. Now, if you don't care, you don't care. But that's just, again, my recommendation. But this is this timepiece though just set a lot of the industry back on its heels when we launched this watch. And the interesting thing was, do you remember Mike Davis? He was an Invicta guest. So it was Mike and I. So, it was basically Al started out, and then Al and Jill Summerstein, and then hired Mike. And back then the network was 24/7, and it was like the hours were crazy. You'd launch a TTV at midnight Eastern, and then you usually have a 15-minute hit, no matter what show it was, like at 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. Then you do another couple full hours. It was a very rigorous schedule. And my point with this, it was, where was I going with that? Mike. Oh, yes. So Mike Davis then was with Invicta, and then that's where I came on board with Mike.
I remember.
And I learned a lot from Mike. Great guy. And then he left, and then Justin came in and fulfilled that role. But Mike said he went out to Basel World, and he had a Bolt Zeus, and he said there was a watch manufacturer, and these watches are like 6 digits. You start at $100,000 or whatever. And the guy, you got to remember, this is back then in 13 years ago, saw the Bolt Zeus, and he thought it was a $100,000 watch. We were selling them, for $599 at the time. This one, $239.90 with that hydroplating that we talked about. You get all the cables, and a couple of the cables are actually, so the bezel on this version was actually, the cable wasn't put in yet. The cable was put in afterwards. That's why it's done in the silver tone. Same thing with the function pushers and crown. And same thing with the cables on the side of the case. Now, if you look closely, you can see there are 2 different cables right here and right there. That's all part of the hydroplane. So we did not, those were a part of the bracelet when we actually did. You can see one cable's right there. Second one is right there with that hydroplating that's done. So, but every watch is going to be different. This version has sort of that beautiful blue with the yellow hands on the inside here, more of a charcoal dial, and you get the red trim work that goes around all the individual hour markers on the inside. Do you, Kev, have any Bolt Zeuses in your collection?
I did have a Bolt Zeus Tria. I had a
with the 3 movements.
Yeah, 3 movement, and that was my very first Bolt Zeus. And then the only other Bolt I have is a Bolt Fusion Sub Aqua Specialty. That's the JT Sub Aqua Specialty case and bracelet, and it's got the same dial on it.
Or bezel. Oh, okay. Yep. I got you.
Yep.
So here's the thing is I love the comfort of this watch. It's truly amazing. Like, and this is, I think, one of the first watches we came out with was a Bolt Zeus in a graffiti style hydroplating with Todd Newton. You remember him? Todd Newton was a host at the network. He had a bunch of tattoos. He was a game show host. And he actually got trained under
Bob Barker. No way.
Yeah. So side story was Todd is a great guy. fantastic storyteller.
Right.
So he was actually trained because he did these other game shows. I can't remember which ones they were. And he was also a reporter for E Entertainment.
Yeah.
And Todd was actually trained under Bob Barker, and he was going to take over The Price is Right when Bob was done. And apparently, the story goes that Bob was trained Todd, and they would do the shows live. So like when I was younger and watched the shows, they were doing them live. And if the show was running fast, they needed some time to burn, Bob would call an audible and be like, all right, the show's running fast. We're not going to do this as planned. We're going to bring out another game that's going to take more time, and so we can end the show at the right time with everything. Because it's, back, it was all with timing, and that's how Todd learned.
Right.
And he was being, greased up to be that next guy. And then Drew Carey came along. I don't know how it happened, but Drew had like a bigger name.
Yeah.
And so then he actually got that, and Todd did not. And I think it's taped, and they might do playbacks. I can't say for sure, but it's
cool.
It's not quite like how I think Bob and Todd would have done it. Not saying it's better or worse or whatever, but just a different style. But Todd does a traveling show for Price is Right.
That's cool.
So if you ever see it, you should jump on it, because he was so much fun on the show. He would say, how long have you been married for? To the callers who would call in, 18 years. And he'd always say, in a row? Like half the people wouldn't get it. But because he traveled so much, anybody who would call in, he would know something from that town or something near. He would say, where's that nearby in wherever in Ohio? And they would say, like, oh, have you ever been to that diner, da-da-da? And they're like, yeah, best diner. And like, he knows.
That's unbelievable.
Really cool guy. I saw him just within the last year. When he comes to Minnesota, I try to hit The Price is Right. And I actually got to spin the wheel and everything backstage. It was pretty cool.
The Price is Right. You struck a chord with me with The Price is Right.
Mm-hmm.
We've all grown, we've grown up with.
We're the same age, yeah.
Yes. Yep. And being home from school, being sick, whether you're home with mom or grandma and they're watching you, making your soup and your grilled cheese and your tomato soup, being sick, what'd you have on the TV?
Yep, Price is Right on the tube.
On the tube,
yep,
all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was a good story, Ron.
Yeah, that was Todd's just a great guy. He's hilarious. He just I'll have to show you the text. He sent me. I didn't respond. You'll laugh. Let me find it. It's he's so random. I don't know if they can say it on air. Here, just read that. It's just a piece of work.
It's good. It's good stuff.
Anyway, back to the watch. That was a big send off there. But anyway, we're going to move on because we have a couple more segments to get through, and also a few more watches. So I think we'll do. Let's go to number 10 and then my pick 11. I think then we'll jump back to, we'll do two more, and then we're going to talk about the module. We're going to go over there.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So, okay. So we're going to get set up for that shot here in a moment. But okay, you guys, this model number 35390, $239 to get in that Bolt Zeus. All right, we're going to move on. So we're going to go to number 10, Renee. And this is a sweet watch. This is actually called the Rev. I don't know if, maybe you have it, or maybe you've seen it in a store, or maybe this is your first time. I'd like to get your initial take on it.
Let's take a look.
Or tell me, have you ever seen this style before?
Yes.
So you have, okay.
Yes.
So you've seen it in the store or something like that?
I've never had it on the wrist. I've never touched one, but I'm looking at it probably for the second time.
Yeah.
So
this is from the Speedway collection. And now this is not a number one. The price on this watch is $929.90. And this case design is just unlike anything that has ever been done. Oh, I got to check one thing. Oh, look at this. Here's what I'm going to show you right away. Look at this. Look at the very top, right up here. Right underneath where it says Invicta. Right there, red label.
Ooh, red label.
Red label.
Ooh.
We have only done this might be number 3 for the red label. We did an S1 Rally. That was a red label. And then we did a, what was it called? Venom Kevin has it. It's a Speedway. Oh shoot. What's the name of it? He has one. And that was the first red label I ever saw. And he actually got it from, I think, a store. They had one. Speedway. It's escaping my mind right now. The design. I'll get it to. Oh, Beast.
Beast?
Yeah. Yep. The Beast. And so this is done. Would you say, is this burgundy or is it it's red, but it's not like a fire engine red. There's burgundy underlying it.
Yes. Yes.
So you're getting into one of the few, probably 3 or 4 models ever of red label with this watch.
Yeah.
Diamonds up and down, 358 diamonds or 1.5 carats. 1.5 carats worth on the bezel of this timepiece. And here's my take, and I think the Speedway collection might be our most diverse collection of all time.
Yep.
Especially in the last 5-6 years.
Yeah.
We've come out with so many different designs.
Yeah.
And it's all housed, it could be its own company, in my opinion. Like it could be like one of those micro brands, just its own, and it would be actually pretty large, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Venom Kevin is saying the Beast.
Yep. Speedway Beast. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So here it is. This thing is just beautifully polished. I've already smudged it up with my cuticle oil. Everything is high polished diamonds. And what this whole idea was is to have the design of like the mid-engine car.
Yes.
Like
that's super
sports car, supercar.
Yep.
Out there, you have all those different parts that have the engine sitting behind you.
Yep.
And so this is the back hatch here that actually, sometimes they'll have the clear windows and you can lift it up and you can see the engine on the inside. So what you're getting right there is with that mechanical movement. 2 quartz movements off to the side for your hours and also your minutes. The hours are being more redundant, but it just gives you that look. And then up here is where you technically be sitting. So this would be the back of the car.
Yep.
With the hatch and then going forward.
Reminds me of a C8. Brand new C8 Corvette.
Yeah.
With the window and the mid-engine right behind the driver's seat. That's what that reminds me of. Boom.
Yeah.
Like you said, mid-engine.
Check that out. And then look at this. Because it's such a different, I wouldn't say awkward. It's just I think unique is used too often, but you see the curve that goes along. And I'd love for you to be able to put this on your wrist and give me your take. Now, is this watch, for everybody? No. It's only for the select few.
Yep.
I know Felix, you've heard of Felix before from Alabama. He would call on the network quite a bit. He's really amassed over 500 watches in 3 years since last August. He picked up on the Speedway Beast. I can't remember if it was this exact one or different one. He had it and used it during one of the watch battles. But here, widest point, we're looking right here. Let me just see with camera 3. Widest point, what are we looking at? I can't quite see. 61 millimeters wide right there, tapering all the way down to 43. The profile, well, it's hard to say because that's the narrowest profile. What is that measuring out at? 18 millimeters. All right, Kev, why don't you put this on? And if you've never put one on,
never.
Tell me what is your, right when you put it on, what do you think? What do you feel? Here you go.
Okay, cool. All right, let's check it out. My initial look, I see the Invicta logo up top.
Yep.
Right in your face, let you know what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Says who it is. We got the diamonds underneath going around the bezel.
Yep.
Got that beautiful movement, and it's got that mid-engine look down at the back of the engine through the glass window.
This is coming from a car guy.
Yeah, and it's got that sleek. That's what really intrigues me is how it tapers down. It's wide, and then it tapers down.
But then it looks like it kind of tapers like from where it would be like behind the heads a little bit. So it would be behind, so it would be a little bit wider, and then it kind of tapes down to where the taillights would be also on the back of the watch.
Yes. It's a beautiful color. It's a beautiful color.
Color is hot.
Beautiful
And I
color.
love the 18 karat gold accents for the function pushers.
That's what that and how it bounces off the movement inside there, the movement with the gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, a beautiful case back.
Yeah.
Beautiful case back. I mean, it's detailed. It's detailed.
Heavily. Yeah, so throw it on the wrist the regular way. Yeah, just don't do it for the. I want to get your take if you've never had one on.
Never had one on. First time.
Here you go.
RJ got me putting this thing on. Oh, look at this. That's got a presence to it.
Just turn your wrist a little bit. You can see right there.
It's got a presence to it.
That. Here's the thing. That watch, that color, that design, those diamonds, that movement on the inside, that color, people are going to be like, what is that?
Yeah, putting this on the wrist, it just opened me up to saying my favorite Venom Fusions I wear. This thing has got an even bigger presence, and I don't know what it is. That taper and that glass window, it's giving me car vibes all day long. All day long.
Well, see, and if that crystal, it's hard to see, but it's actually a bit curved as it goes up. But then from the sides, from the driver's side to the passenger side, it also just curves.
Look at this.
I mean, it's a big watch. I mean, it's not for everybody. But if you like a bigger watch, the ergonomics on this watch are off the chart.
They are off the chart. They are off the chart. Oh, that's beautiful.
All right, so we got we have about 18 millimeters in the case thickness. We did the measurement before, 61, and that's at the widest spot. I mean, we have almost virtually the same wrist size. I have just a little bit. I'll just point to camera 3 or camera 2. You can see how even on my wrist, like, it's got a really good feel.
Yeah, that
I mean, it comes over a little bit, but that's fine with me. And look at that.
It's got a presence to it. That's a whole different animal that I'm used to.
Mm-hmm.
That right there.
This isn't your standard pro diver.
No, that's something all on its own. That's on its own, guys. That's on its own.
Color.
Yeah, I mean,
if this is what I like to say with a watch like this, is if you're more shy, you don't like to talk to people.
Yep.
This definitely isn't your watch. Or you could get it, just never leave your house with it on. Because when you step out that door, people are going to be, what is that, right away?
I totally relate, because I'll never forget when I bought my first Fusion, Venom Fusion. I went to the store and I was going through the checkout, and the person checking me out at the store actually said, "What is that? What is that?" And their eye was just drawn to it. So I can't imagine wearing something like that.
Like this.
That's a beacon of light right there.
Red Label, you have that very exclusive series of the Red Label. And then just all the diamonds. We're talking 1.5 carats, 358 diamonds are a part of it. Yeah. And just a case shape, unlike anything else out there. That's a hot watch.
Yeah, that is a hot watch.
All right, we're going to do one more, and we're going to get to the module.
Oh, guys, wait till you see the module.
The module is going to be hot. So this is actually my pick. My pick here for the show. I mean, I wish I could pick all of them. I mean, why wouldn't I? But if I had to narrow it down to one, I'd narrow it down to Swatch. And I'm just cleaning it up here real quick.
Got the microfibers. You got to have the microfibers.
Yeah.
And you know how Invicta always puts that little microfiber in with the watch case? Mm-hmm. You have to, if you got a watch that you don't want all smudges on it, you got to have it in your pocket.
I have this, I barely use paper towels. I just get the, at Costco, that bag of yellow rags.
Yep.
And they use them for everything.
Yep.
Like car, inside the kitchen, cleaning, everything. And then I'll keep a couple aside that, like I'll just, clean my watches with a little bit, just very gently.
Yep.
I don't want to, even though they get washed and everything, I like to try to keep a couple just separate, fat only.
Yep.
But here's my watch. This is number 11. This is my pick. And this is my pick for a couple reasons. I mean, first of all, I love the price on this watch, $259.90. And this is getting into Invicta Racing. And See, this is it right here. So there's a lot that's really going on with this watch for this price, for $259.90. My opinion is that right now, this is one of the, if not the hottest case design that we have going currently at the whole company, amongst everything. I mean, there might be a couple others out there, but this is the deal. And it's all done in titanium. So it's titanium case, titanium buckle that you'll find.
That's cool.
On the watch. Sapphire, upgraded sapphire crystal. We don't do too many sapphire crystals. Here we do. And along with it, we have the Ronda Swiss-made 5030D for the movement on the inside. And you get a little bit of the italicized design for the racing here. And you get a little bit also of a skeletonized dial for that quartz movement. Plus, it's a numbered limited edition out of 1,000. You'll be able to see right down here. Curved case back to fit around, and it's that pink that's been done for that Miami edition. Pink for the strap, pink for the little accent on the crown, and pink on the outer chapter ring on the inside of the dial and the chronograph hand. Now, here's the thing: is when we were on the cruise, we stopped at the store in San Juan, the brand new Invicta store there, old San Juan. It was like maybe a week old. And so, as I said, some collectors walked, some collectors took an Uber for $7. I took a taxi for 25. Didn't know any different. And in the store, there were a bunch of collectors there before I got there, and they stayed after I got there too. Okay. There was an Invicta Racing Miami Edition case of watches in there. They're all gone. All you saw were the yellow bricks, the stands for Invicta. You know what I'm talking about, like the ones we have back here. They're all empty. It was cleaned out at the store. And so here's your chance to be able to get into that very exclusive design, or that Miami edition. I actually have 5 of these watches. It's not the Miami edition. It's a 7750s on the inside. Ooh. I got into like 5 of those different colors because I just love the design, love the comfort. The lightweight factor, this is 120 grams.
Yeah, that's lightweight.
I mean, it is light, it is hot. That black and that pink, you just cannot go wrong. You had a titanium watch tonight with your Coalition Forces. Yep. And it's so interesting because you pick up that watch and you always expect it to be heavier than it is, even if you know it's titanium. Yep. And that's the whole thing. Lightweight factor. Yep. Limited edition upgrades. You get along with the titanium and the sapphire, and then you get the hottest color out there. And even Greg, who's one of the guys behind the whole podcast here, right? He saw all the watches. We had like 26 watches tonight. He put this watch on his wrist. I think you were here when he did it, and he was like, "Oh man, I should get this one tonight." So let me hand this watch over to you. I want to hear your take.
Yeah. And I see Robert saying Miami Vice. We're talking, Miami. Godfather, and I remember Trap telling me this, and you mentioned it too. The store in Puerto Rico sold up basically almost out of a lot of inventory. Yeah, a lot of inventory. I know Trap was telling me about that. Yeah, I mean, I like the titanium case. The titanium case. I like the case. One thing that I will say, I love how the inside has that pink inside. You guys could see the pink in there around the border of the dial and the bezel in there. You see that pink wrap around, and then you got those little white markers in there. You got the pink hands.
Yeah, $259.90 to be able to get into this watch, limited edition.
I'll tell you what,
that's a steal.
That's a steal. That's a steal. That's a steal. And this could be a woman's or a man's watch.
It could be
either way.
Yeah, it could be that shareware.
Yep, shareware.
Buy and borrow.
Yep.
Buy for her, borrow it. Talia's like that. She's listening.
She's going, I want that one.
Your wife is adorable, by the way.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
I'm glad that she's here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
beautiful watch.
Yeah, I mean, it's hot, and it's a number limited edition. This one is what number is it? 512.
Yeah.
So And when it comes to number limited editions, I believe what we do is we do it in different lots.
Right.
Like we won't do all, 1,000 in one production run. Maybe we'll do, 4 production runs at 250 a piece or something.
Right.
Now I don't know if this has been sitting for a little bit or but it hasn't been out that long. And if we're already looking at 512 here, we're halfway through, and maybe, the next 250, or I don't know, they do it in lots of 200, or maybe they did one of 500, second one of 500. I don't know.
Yep. 47186.
Mhm.
You could buy 2 of them. Or not this one here. 47186.
Yeah, model number.
Model number, yes. 259.90. Whoa.
Yeah, and this is look at this. This is a newer model number than the Speedway we just showed.
Yes.
So this is a hot watch, and we're already 500 in at least for this. So this is a big deal. My watch of the night, I love it for the style of the case, for the upgrade in terms of titanium and sapphire. Color, you just can't go wrong. It's a numbered limited edition also. The size and shape of the case too, for me, fits my wrist exceptionally well.
Ergonomic.
And the overall comfort, exactly. Yep. Ergonomically correct. That means this watch is going to have a very, very comfortable fit and feel. So, all right. Well, we're 2 hours done.
2 in.
2 in.
2 in.
And let's go over to the other side of the studio here. We'll just get up and walk.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring the module over.
Module. Oh.
Yeah, I'm going to bring this over. Module. Watch. All right, here we go. Yeah, we'll just get up and walk. They'll follow us or meet us over there, whatever. So
do it.
All right. So what do you think of the hub?
The hub. I'll tell you what.
So many people have wanted to get in here. I'll tell you. And, we had the one cruise last year where collectors who were on the cruise ship came into the hub. And then we, only a few select people after that really have. It's never been open to the public.
Beautiful establishment. Beautiful establishment.
Yeah, come on over here. I think we got to get pretty close, because what I'd like to do is just on this one, I'd like to be a little bit, I'd like to be, there isn't the cloth in here. Maybe I'll just set this down. I just don't like to set the metal on metal typically.
No, I got you.
So we'll get into this in just a moment, but here's what we got going on. So, modules are, we've used modules before. So basically a module is, it's an assembly or a sub-assembly that's attached to like a base movement. And what that does is it takes, like, for example, it adds a complication to a movement that has already been created and established. So it just really sort of fits on. Everything has to be, talk about just exact precision, everything's got to fit with exact precision to be able to line up with it. And I think there's probably, torque factors that go along with it too, because if you're going from just a strict 3-hand movement to like a chronograph, there's more components to be able to work with that the power gets put into.
Right.
And so what I'm trying to say is it's an extremely difficult process. There's one company out there that we used over the years. It was actually called Dupre. And actually I have one of those modules right here inside of this Bolt Zeus that I have. And so we did this on just a handful of watches. And I've held on to this. People want to get into these. And I'll just show you real quick here. You're one of those? You're one of those people? So let me see. I just have to try to get things lined up here a little bit. I got a tight space to work with. But so this movement was actually a Salida SW 200.
Right.
And so for those of you out there know what it is, it's a 2-hand or a 3-hand movement, hours, minutes, and seconds, and a quick change date. 26 joules, 28,800 vibrations every single hour, or that breaks down to 8 individual steps every single second. This watch, that's what that base is. That base is a Salida SW 200, and we put the DD for Dupre module 293 on top of this, which took it from a 3-hand movement with a date window to a chronograph. with a three, you have your hour, minute, and you'll see right here, your seconds are actually going right there in that sub dial at the top of the dial. So, and it add another 24 joules with that module to the movement. So 50 joule timepiece for this mechanical automatic. And you just don't see these around very often anymore. And that's why, this is something that's really, really special to me. And I mean, it's just it's a rare opportunity to be able to get into something like this. So, and I think Duprat, they've done modules for other. I'll just say it. They've done it for high-end, very high-end Swiss companies out there, names that you know of. Right. I don't know if I can say them or not, but I just want to be on the safe side. It's something. But then we also did in some select watches out there, and those watches went for a premium. And so what we have done is that we have created our own module. Instead of we're masters of case designs. We love. We're not in the smartwatches. People always ask, are you in the smartwatches? No, it's not our wheelhouse, but we built the cases for it. So we know how to build stuff. But, the whole smartwatch, you got to get into the apps, the tech and everything. That's just not what we're focused on. Yeah. But we're up for things that are different, things that other companies aren't doing. And so we actually designed and developed our own module. And we put it in 2 different watches. And we launched this last week on a JTV, and I just want to show you this module because if you missed the last show or whatever it happens to be, let me see, I'm going to move it this way so we're upright. Oh, shoot, 1 second. Let me just see. The times don't line up all the way. That's beautiful. Give me a little further. Here we go. This is where I have to be. Oh, I see the microscope is a little bit backwards, so give me a second.
Show your magic, RJ.
There we go. Okay, I'm working with what I have here. So here's what we have. And on the ship, so it's Invicta Reserve, and you'll see this is the module on top. So we have your hour. This is your hour marker right here. So that's telling you your hours during the course of the day. I'm going to pop out the crown. Then we have I just got to, give me 1 second here. I got to just switch this camera so it's going upright. Let me just do this. Bear with me for a second. I set this camera up wrong here.
It's all good.
Let's see where we got. Here we go. Okay, this is going to be better. Now I can see where I'm going. Okay, there we go. Okay, much better. Okay, so we have the reserve. So we have the module which goes right here, and this is going to be your hours. Look at how those gears are turning in. That's distinguish your hours. Over here, these are your minutes. So you'll see how that's all moving. Notice the gears that are turning. There's your seconds, which is the center pinion with that blue hand. And then look at this. Look right under there. You can see the AM, PM indicator with the sun and moon.
Whoa.
And I asked collectors on the ship, Kevin, I brought this out right when we boarded the ship. There was a big gathering of people on the Lido deck, the collectors, and I had this exact watch right here, which a collector won because we raffled it off. I'm going to send it out after because I wanted to get this in a video of it.
Right.
And I asked all these collectors, what movement is it? What movement is this? What movement is this?
Right.
I didn't say there was a module.
Right.
And couldn't figure it out. Godfather finally got it, and he said the NH35A. And so if you're familiar, we talked about it tonight. The NH35A is that workhorse movement. It's our most widely used mechanical automatic.
Yep.
And I'm just going to push this in and start this up here because that will start the hand here. But so we took that NH35A, and on top of it, then built this module. NH35A is a 3-hand movement that's coming out right there from that where you'll see probably fat finger right there. That's where the hour, minute, and second hand are. But if you look closely, there are 2 different gears, and those gears actually represent underneath. I don't know if I can get the right angle from it, but that top gear is going to be then if you notice how the time is moving, that top gear is going to be the minute hand, because on a 3-hand movement like that NH35, from top to bottom it goes second hand, minute hand, hour hand is always on the bottom, correct? So that top gear is actually then turning for that module over here for your minutes. So you'll see how that's actually going. But then underneath, you see if I can just show this, there's a second, it's hard to see. There's a second gear, and that second gear is going to go then for that AM PM indicator. It's a different level.
Wow.
And that's where the hours correlate. And then that also correlates over here. See how that other gear is going that much slower?
Yep.
So that's what you're getting with this movement. So all the gears, all the teeth have to be lined up in perfect unison. The difference, like the amount of space and the size of the teeth and the size of the gear all come into play, because this still has to be extremely accurate in terms of being able to tell and dictate the time. So the whole thing is, other watch companies, they aren't building their own modules and such. Here we've done it, and we've had it come out on 2 different watches, this Excursion, and then also the Sub-Aqua Noma 8. And I mean, this is just such a big deal. I mean, we're really excited to be able to have this as a part of our line now.
That's a big step.
It's huge, and to be able to have it, so you'll be able to see, oh, there's the sun, it's going down. Because if you look at the hours, look at this, right when we get to the 12th hour, and again, all this has to line up just with absolute perfection. If I get up to 12 o'clock, you'll look at then the AM PM indicator, and it's going to be just right on the nuts also, right here. Oh, there's the moon. So that means it's midnight. So then when I go around one more time here, if I go around to noon, the sun should be at that same position then. If we go like this,
That's
and
amazing.
there's that sun perfectly lined up. So that's what I'm saying. A lot of time, a lot of effort went into building this whole module, and it'd be cool. I read from some people in some comments. They'd like, hey, they love the module. They want to see it in different colors. So I'm going to suggest that. And who knows, maybe we can come up with another module or something like that. But it gives, when you look at it, I mean, you got a chance to look at it a little bit earlier. I
did.
It gives you, like, even with the one that I have here, it makes the movement just that much thicker and that much more depth to it.
I'll tell you what, I mean, Excursion is a very popular brand model. And now this module is in it. This is an in-house movement.
Yeah.
This is an in-house movement, guys. And an Excursion. An Excursion. Now imagine, he gives this guy over here some feedback. What other models you want to see this movement in? Hit them up. Hit them up. Because they could put this movement in many different models.
Yeah, I mean, we've had the NH35A in a lot of different watches. Now, would we do a Hydromax with that? Would we do a Grand Diver with it? What could we do? Do like a Object Day Art?
That'd be cool.
Which would be something cool on a leather strap.
Yep.
And have a fun color in there.
Yep, that would be cool. That would be cool. That would definitely be cool.
Yeah. It was so funny too, because when I was saying that we were raffling it off the watch, like all collectors, Richard also was the first. He's like, nope. He's like, nope, I'm just winning it. You just might as well just give it to me now, Ryan. Nobody else needs to see it. Tony White said the same thing. I mean, it was cool. So look at that watch on the wrist right there.
Look at that, guys. Look at that.
That's that beautiful 50 millimeter Excursion.
Yep.
Just taken to a completely different level. Remember, with the module too, I mean, this is all based on a mechanical automatic.
Yep.
So there's no battery to ever be changed. Just, I'd say, wind up the watch once a month and just let it run at a power. And because that's like with cars, talking to the car guy, you just don't want to let your cars sit and not like fire them up every now and then, get those lubricant greases just moving, and get those metal pieces to run, because if they just stay stagnant, things could tend to gum up a little bit. And the same with some mechanical movements also.
Right. And to your point with the cars, like the differential in any car has the rear wheel drive car has a differential. The gears in the back, there's the bigger ring gear and the smaller pinion gear. So when you talk about the gears in this module, how they have to be precise for how many clicks and moving, I could relate, because I put the ring and pinion in the Camaro and Bumblebee, and it had the same logic behind it. Different size gears. They had a mesh perfectly.
Yeah, especially with that torque and just
Yeah,
like, I
yeah.
mean, and the RPM of that. I mean, it's just,
Yes. Right. And then you figure a watch like this. Now, this is a watch, this excursion. You guys can wear it every day. Every day. This is a beautiful, ergonomic, beautiful piece. And that is going to work for you flawlessly.
yeah. So yeah, that's the thing. I mean, this is it's amazing. I just wanted to spend some more time on it because we did have the launch back on JTV. You can go to that website too, JTV, and type in Invicta Excursion. You'll be able to find this watch.
Yep.
I don't know if the pricing was what it was at on Friday or not, but right now. But I mean, this is amazing watch and build, and I'm excited to see what else is going to come of this first module, where we're going to put it, if we're going to come up with some more, because I think it's one of the coolest things that we've done out of a lot of cool things lately in the past so many years.
100% agreement with you.
All right. Well, any final thoughts here with this? I mean,
well, I'll tell you what, as soon as I walked in the building today, I mean, guys, this is the first time I'm in the headquarters, first time meeting RJ in person. And one of the first watches that he showed me was this module.
Yeah.
And here we are, and we're standing right behind the sign. He had it under the microscope. And I'll tell you what, I'm blown away by this watch. Just blown away by this watch. So I really, really want to see what you guys want to see this in-house movement put in.
Throw it in the comments. We want to see the comments.
Throw it in the comments.
All right. Well, let's make our way back because we have 40 minutes left.
Oh,
so things have been flying by tonight.
Flying by.
All right, we'll be a little bit more speedy on some of these upcoming watches. I'll leave both these watches over here right now, but yeah, that's something I just really want to hammer home tonight with some, because maybe they didn't know about the launch and they missed last week's show and everything else. So we're back now. So what's your favorite thing about the hub right now? What do you think is like the coolest thing about it? The horse from Rhonda.
Oh, that's cool.
That's pretty cool, right?
What my favorite thing so far about the hub is the energy that we witnessed pulling into the hub.
Yeah.
Pulling up to the big Invicta logo up at the top of the building. Okay. Big Invicta logo. And then meeting this guy out front, okay, and then coming in, greeting us, saying hello, walking around. Awesome time.
There's Kevin in front of the building right there.
Yes. Yes. There it is, guys.
Happy as a hound.
Happy as a hound.
What did you say when you when you guys you two just pulled into the gate? You and Talia, it was you said, so we've just entered through the gate of where all the magic happens.
Yes, we entered through the gates of heaven where all the magic happens. Because Ryan had to open the gate for us to get into the premises.
Yeah.
To the headquarters, the HQ. We're in the HQ. Yeah. And so we came in, took some pictures.
Yeah, there's a gate, and you have to punch in a code. And no, it's not 1, 2, 3, 4.
No, it's not. And one of the things that we're talking about this, when I started collecting years ago, one of the things that I had said to myself, living in Florida, okay, and with the HQ being down here in Southern Florida. When are they ever going to have some kind of a live show at the HQ with watches and watch talk? And you know what? Here we are 3-4 years later. This guy, he's running the show. He's got an awesome podcast. He's in the HQ showing you guys these #1 pieces, these other hot pieces. It's like it all came into fruition. It all came into fruition. And it's just amazing how things have evolved. And just an awesome experience.
Yeah, well, I mean, a true pleasure for having both you come down here tonight and be a part. And I mean, 2.5 hours has never flown by so fast before, right?
Right.
So, at first I was nervous starting this. I'm like, oh my gosh, 3 hours. It can be in like starting something new, but every time I have a guest on, we just
That's what.
boom, and we're just talking and we're, showing the watches and read the comments, and it flies by. And I have this little, self-admittedly, I get a little anxious, some anxiety, but then I don't know, just a half hour before the show, all right, I got this, and then just having just the awesome guests here over the time, and just genuinely appreciate, and I love getting the guests' takes on things. I like getting to know the guests more, and it's always good to have just a ride or die buddy next to you.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Totally comfortable. Like we said, family, Invicta family. We're here. Well, Ryan's here Tuesday nights. Tuesday nights. Is it usually at 8 o'clock?
Yeah, it's 8 or 7. So sometimes we're trying to figure out too, and that's what we want you. Just write anything on the comments. We want to see what you have to say.
Yes.
I'll try to document some of that. And if you like the 8 o'clock start time, you like 7 o'clock. You want to see it in the afternoon. Probably won't happen, but who knows? You never know. Maybe we'll do some random stuff. So,
Paulie B says could use that movement in a new Venom series.
Yeah, I like that.
Robert Vega was saying he saw it on JTV.
Mm-hmm.
Shelly said she saw it on sale on Friday.
Yeah, JTV might have bumped up their prices. I know Shop HQ would do that too. During showtime is you typically want to buy. Sometimes they'll extend the price after, but keep your eye on it.
Yeah.
If you're like, oh, that's not the price that I wanted, just keep popping back and see when it will go on sale. Yep.
Yeah.
Any other?
Godfather says that he's almost done with the pictures from the cruise. And I know this guy, he probably took about 20 million pictures.
He pretty close. I think he was probably 20,000.
Ooh.
He's taken a bunch of photos. Even when we did a Bacardi tour,
right? And
he actually put that together, which is super cool.
That's cool.
And all of us got along the thing where it says Bacardi, and he didn't, he was taking the photo, so he wasn't in. He's like, I'll just add myself later. But then I'm like, here, you get in. Let me just take a shot with your camera, so you kind of have the same lighting and size perspective, and then it's probably easier for him to Photoshop himself in. But
that's right.
Yeah. Well, how many photos? 14,804. Godfather is always precise. So, yeah.
Godfather, boom.
Yeah.
You knocked it out of the park, brother. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Gold Gladiator.
Oh,
the Gold Gladiator.
Let me check one thing here. I'm going through the comments.
Yeah.
See one thing real quick.
What's up, Rich? Good to see you. Sass King. What's up, Verge? Trap Vision 3D. Those were good wings not last summer, Sunday before.
I'll talk about that real quick while I look something up, and then we'll get to the watches here.
Yeah.
So Travis, after the cruise, I got done with him, and then he came to hang out with you.
Yep. Well, Trap had fun, okay, with RJ on the cruise and all you guys on the cruise. So Talia and I got with Tamika, Trap's wife, and our buddy Tony Woe, okay?
Yeah.
And we made it happen where we drove down to Boynton, which is kind of close to where we're at right now in Hollywood, and set it up for the day Trap and Tamika came back from the cruise to kind of sneak into Buffalo Wild Wings and catch Trap off guard. And I caught it on tape. Talia caught it on tape. Tony caught it on tape. And it was amazing. I've known this guy for years, good friend and good person, really good person, and got to sneak behind him, and he looked back and he just was like, what? I did the turn, gave him a hug, and when I hugged him, guys, I gave him one of those hugs.
Yeah.
The hug.
give him a hug.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
He
did.
deserves that.
He deserved it,
Of course he does.
good experience, and I know he had a great time with you on the cruise.
Yeah, you know what? Let's do this real quick because I did want to talk about the cruise and I'm going to do it just briefly because we're going to end then with some final watches here of the night. But here I'll just show you a few of the photos here from the cruise. Let me just get this lined up. We'll go to camera 3, and this is going to be. Let me just see. I'm going to get this lined up here for. So what we started off with, I just have a few things here. We started off in chronological. I did this in chronological order. So we actually went to the Sawgrass store at Invicta here. And so here are some of the collectors inside there. And there's TW right there. And let me hit play. And this is during the JM event. So the collectors got to meet JM Carrera. He was there.
That's cool.
And he was there signing autographs, taking photos and everything. You'll see there's Travis talking right there. And Godfather with the beard going. And then let me just, I think I hit this button, go.
There's also
Mr. Richard. So there's Travis talking with JM right there. And this is at the Invicta store. Then there's Felix. We were talking about Felix. Felix picked up one of the Diamond Speedway revs that we had a little bit earlier. So that's Felix. If you've never seen him before, that's with JM right there.
Yep.
Then we're moving over. This is actually, her name is Ann. And she was actually, she was here at the hub last year for the when we did the pre-cruise event. She's a South Florida resident. I should have her on the show sometime. She goes around to all the different stores. And if you notice, look at what she's wearing and look at what I'm wearing. We wore the same exact watch.
I love it.
Same exact watch. The JM, the 7750.
Yep.
With that. So she's super cool. And then here we go. This is once we get on the ship. Right. There's an expo. So with the expo, I don't think that's a video. That one's not a video. But so that's where we had 2 different expos where collectors would be able to just show off their watches, explain them and everything else. And it was just a really cool time to be able to do that. And so we have this private room and you kind of go through, look at everything, ask them about the watches and collections. And then here's a video going on. So that's Jason Garrett. Great guy. He's one of the guys who, with the collab, who's putting on everything. That's Arizona right there. He's got a new group coming up and looking to do a cruise in 2027.
That's cool.
And just going through here some of the collections and looking at the different watches that are said, the dog tags and everything else. And a lot of people match it up with Invicta jewelry or other jewelry out there from some of the collectors that do their own and such. And so. There's a watch winder right there. Oh, that's with the brand new titanium Pro Diver with the meteorite.
Oh, that's a hot piece.
There's Mr. Tony White.
Tony.
Yeah, showing his stuff right there. Had a Hennessy with him on the ship. Yeah, on the last night before he got off the ship. So I bought him this martini and he loved it, and then he got me a Hennessy back. So
see that.
But it's fun to see all the different collections here and all the different watches. And here's the thing: it's all about the big smiles. Yeah. It's all about the camaraderie. It's it's the watches, but then everybody gets to know each other that much more. Yeah. And you're just and that's the thing about it is just everybody is just full of love. Yep. And here we go on one of the nights here where it was a formal night. So everybody gets dressed up and go to dinner out on the cruise ship. Mm-hmm. Here's some more. Here are the ladies of Invicta. I'll just kind of go across and just show everybody here who's on the side. So we're going beautiful this way. I mean, everybody just looks amazing. So, and then I think just a couple more photos and then we're done. One thing I don't have is the watch battle. So there are a couple watch battles. Right. That was super cool. I got to judge them both. Right. Never had a chance to do that. And it was pretty epic for that whole course. And I got to say, Travis was the MC for those watch battles. He did a great job. Oh, this is San Juan right here. So this is the whole store at San Juan. Nice. The collectors made it there. There's Richard and everybody else. It was pretty cool to be there. And then finally a couple of the 2 girls that were working at the store, along with everybody in back. And look at everybody's smiling.
They are smiling.
And that is something that I absolutely love
It's infectious, isn't it?
about Invicta. I mean, that's the whole thing. You're just like got this adrenaline rush the whole time. You're smiling, you're talking to people,
Yep.
and you all have that same common interest. And then you get to know each other beyond, but it's that watch that really started it. So, all right. Well, that's all the photos I have there. I just wanted to share that with
Thanks for
everybody.
sharing that, Art.
Yeah, I was like, and so there's a couple more cruises that are starting in the works
Yep.
for 2027.
Right.
I would recommend find Facebook groups out there and join them. Find like Invictaholics is one, Invicta Maryland group, Invicta Reserve Maryland group.
Yep.
There's also SoCal collectors. There's 602 collectors for Arizona. There's just type it up and start joining these groups. You get to see what people are posting each and every day. You can get to know them a little bit more.
Yep.
I know Arizona is looking to do a cruise out of Galveston in 2027, so kind of stay tuned for that. I know the Maryland, it's Maryland Reserve, Invicta Maryland group is looking to do an all-ladies event next year in Myrtle Beach.
Oh, wow.
Which will be cool. So there's a lot of great stuff coming out. And so, just kind of find out what's going on, what events you can hit to. I've been to Godfathers before, been to Myrtle Beach. So there's more stuff to come.
Yeah. Just like, Ryan said, get on the Facebook groups, become friends. You have new friends, new family, new horizons.
Exactly. Well, and that's the thing is I've gotten to, meet now, collectors, and you probably heard that Travis and Godfather and Dickerson and Walker, they came to my house this past, it was winter, but there wasn't any snow.
Right.
And stayed at the house for 3-4 nights.
Yep.
And we talked watches, and then we just busted on each other and had some fun and some laughs and some drinks. And it was actually St. Patty's Day too. So we went to the bar behind the house and we just got these really tall green beers, of course. But it was good stuff.
You guys had the time of your life, I'll tell you.
It was. Yeah.
That's amazing.
All right. Well, we got about 25 minutes left. So
let's look at some more.
Yeah, let's do let's see. I think we've already done one similar to this. So let's actually go to Renee. Oh, here, let's start with 14. I want to go to 14 and then go to Chase Durer for just a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we'll kind of wind out the show maybe with a couple of these last ones. So number 14, this is another pick of mine here tonight. And this is a number one.
Oh.
And let me price on this is $999. And so this is something special. This is number one. I just want to double check the number on it. Oh, wait, hold on 1 second. Let me just double check. Let me look at the case back. Okay, yep. So this is number one. I'll just show you right here. Number one out of 1,000. It's right down here. You'll see the black bold. Number one out of 1,000. So this is the Sub-Aqua Noma 1. This is really what started it for the entire Sub-Aqua collection, was the Noma 1. And it's this round case design. Inside for the movement is the Valjoux 7750. That at a 7750, 25 jeweled movement. You got the quick change day date and also the chronograph. It's all a part of this design. Beautiful mother of pearl that you'll see that lights up with this donut or UFO shaped case. 200 meters of water resistance for this watch. And out of 1,000, you get this exact, for $1,000, $999.90, you're getting the number one out of 1,000. And this watch alone, we used to, it would be like $800 with a 7750 in it when we would do it before. It's only for like $200 more.
With that movement.
With this movement, you're going to get the number one out of 1,000. And I have a couple Sub-Aqua Noma 1s. I told you I have a number one Sub-Aqua Noma 1 that AL gave me.
Yep.
And I mean, yeah, I mean, it's something truly special. I love the fit and the feel. I want to wear my other Subacquanoma one on a bracelet, but it's one of those that's just a little bit too tight. It's back from 2014 with the first abalone shell that we did, and it's gold tone. That was August of 2014 when we did it. I'll check that out. I mean, 47 millimeters, you just can't go wrong. Distinguished design out there, nothing else like it. It's that monolug system, so it's only one lug coming down, so it really kind of keeps the whole case design really present. Yep. And by having that monolug system, look at this. You can just, bigger wrist, smaller wrist, anywhere in between.
And for me, what I love about the lug on there, it gives up. It's pronounced.
Yeah.
It's kind of almost like the lug system on the Coalition in a way.
Very defined.
Very defined.
Yep.
And it sets off. It just sets that number one off. It does. It really does.
I mean, this would be a beautiful watch to be able to have. I think it was this model. There were a couple Subacquanoma ones. I didn't know we were coming out with the 7750s. I was like told, like, oh, we only, we have so many, and this is the last one. And then we came with another model. Like, oh, this is the last. And I was like, come on, which is last? So this came out, and it was. I remember because I was on. I think it was a show with Jen Vick.
Right.
And I brought my dog on the set.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
that's cool.
Doberman.
That's cool.
And it was so funny. We were I think we're selling this exact watch, and the dog came up, jumped on the couch in between us, and the dog like started. The dog had met. The dog's name is Noma.
Noma
had met Jen a couple of times in the network, and then just started sniffing her ear, and then started licking her face, and threw Jen off for the broadcast. It was or not for just for a minute, and then she totally recovered. But she was like selling this watch. I think it was probably.
See, that's more than this. Stuck in your head now. You don't forget that.
Yeah. And here's that watch, but this is number one for under $1,000.
Yeah.
That's a big, big deal. That's be able to get. Do you have any Subacquanoma ones, or?
I've never owned a one, and I've always wanted to pull the trigger on one.
Yeah.
I've never owned a one. I've worn it before, but I've never owned it. It's definitely one that I have to get. I will say that I have to get a one at some point.
Here's my recommendation would be you'd have to, well, we don't have too many of them right now, but if you want to get that 7750, I mean, either like one of these, and I don't even know if any of the others are on the website or if they've all sold out and this is it.
Yep.
But we did a number of years ago, the Subacquanoma one. It was silver like this. We had the 7750 on the inside. We had a meteorite dial, and then we had a red hand for the chronograph second, and we also had one that had a blue hand.
Oh,
it was hot. Like that was a hot timepiece. This one is too, right. And those prices were well over $1,000, and that was for a non-number one.
Right.
Right.
Not a number one.
Not a number one. Maybe if we had it and it went out, it went out. But you're guaranteed this exact watch, the number one out of 1,000.
It's beautiful
for this timepiece for $999.90. Anything on the comments or?
Yeah, let's see. TriCat says, love the case. Rounded disc shape is great.
Yeah.
Jerry, that's probably Jerry Jones. Good evening. I was out just tuned in. Sorry I missed. Hey, Ryan and Kevin. And Ron 42 says, this reminds me of the old scuba helmet.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to move on here. We only have like about 15 minutes left. So let's go into Chase Durer, and then we're going to probably go to, I want to see this Flying Fox and that Fusion in a sense of what you were asking about earlier. So
Fusion,
yeah. So let me just this case away real quick. And Renee, we're going to go to number 15.1 through 15.6. So we'll have to put all these back in order. Here, why don't you take this first one, 15.1. I like that blue hands, like I was just talking about with that Subacquanoma 1.
Yep.
All right, we're going to get out all these different colors and just go over.
That's cool.
At one time, and I'll just bring them into the shots. You have to tell me what your favorite color. I have mine.
Yeah, lots of choices here.
Look at this one.
Ooh, yeah, yeah. That's in the black.
That might be the one. Okay, so we're getting into another brand that's underneath the Invicta watch group. And so many of you might think, well, it's just Invicta, and no, it's actually not. We do have other brands. So the parent company is Invicta, Invicta Watch Group, and under the Invicta Watch Group, we have Invicta, we have Techno Marine, we have Glycine, we have S. Koifman, we have Chase Dur, and we also have Imperius. I think I got them all right there. And so it's been just a lot of different designs out there, a lot of different watches, and it gives you a variety too to be all part of this family. And it's fun to be able to see some of these different watches. Now, this is so we're talking about Chase Dur, and this is actually this is a Conquest, and so this watch I love it for a couple different reasons. The strap on this is just amazing, second to none. What we've actually done is we've added in a link from the bracelet variation, which bends the strap and just really conforms even that much more to your wrist when you have this watch on. At Chase Dur, it was created a couple decades ago, and was really supposed to be for military and special forces, pilots, diving, more sport watches out there, and just founded to deliver just quality watches for craftsmanship and design. And so, it started out for professional pilots and, both civilian and military, and then grew from there. And with this particular variation, we have the compass that goes along here for the watch. And it's actually a functioning, complication for the timepiece. Did you know that?
No.
So I got to remember how it works is you have to line up I think you'd line up the hour hand for wherever it is to the sun, and then you put the south in between, directly between, in the middle of both whatever. So if you're like 8 o'clock, then you put the south at the 10 o'clock position, and you point that 8 o'clock to where the sun is, and then that will give you your direction and your reading. I got to double check on, but it's actually functional. It's just not there for aesthetics.
Right.
It's actually functional for this timepiece. Wow. So we're looking at about 46 millimeters for the case design of the watch, case size. The VD53 is the movement on the inside, and you'll see over here a little bit of that aspect. I think it's maybe all these are just a little bit different, actually. Let me see. Yeah, the dials are just a little bit different on some of these watches. So let's just go through. Which one do we have highlighted right now?
The green one?
Is it green, or which one is this? Is it the black one?
That's the black one.
So which one is it? Let me just find it here. That's the one you have with that blue hand? Sorry. 093. I'm looking at, sorry guys, I just want to make sure I get this right.
This is 084.
093, I have it right here. Oh, so this is a green dial. That's a green dial.
Is it green?
Okay, we'll go in really quick on this and we'll show you the different dials. So we have, this is the green variation. And you'll be able to see, it looks like, I'm just looking at a little bit closer here, 93. That's not the green dial. Let's see. Sorry about this. Okay, so what we have is, so we have the chronograph, the Chase Dur right at the very top with the logo. Logo also is on the crown of the watch. Case back, you'll find more of that clean case back, but it's also done in that sunray pattern. So just beautiful design. Price on these, $89.90. $89.90. Least expensive watch of the show. Yep. So you just can't go wrong. I have one Chase Dur. I actually have to still size it, but it's like a 46 millimeter. But it feels solid. I mean, you can feel that case design. You feel the girth of that strap also. I mean, this is a quality build that we got going on.
Yeah, guys, look at this on my wrist. And it's got some weight to it. It's got some weight, and like Ryan's saying, you could ratchet this thing down and it will squeeze. It will squeeze your wrist, and it will feel like, like putting on a brand new pair of socks. How's that?
Mhm.
putting on a brand new pair of socks. That's what this bracelet or strap feels like.
Yeah.
Look at
Just, yeah, I mean, it's hot. And I mean, I love the size of it. That 48 millimeters is going to be a great size. And check out this color option. This is my favorite. This is model CDW. Chase Dura watch is what that stands for. And it's 0092. It's the red dial execution. Oh, is it 90? Okay, so this one's $99. That one's a little bit, is that true? So we have there, some are 89 and some are 99. I apologize. So I guess that is what it is on the website.
Yep.
So looking at this here, VD53 for the movement. We have the impact resistant mineral crystal. Case thickness is about 14 millimeters in the water resistance, 200 meters, professional dive watch. I love this color of the dial. And then look at how it ombres out just a little bit. Right around the hour markers, it's going to get just a little bit darker here for that timepiece. That is my color choice out of everything. And the watch, I mean, it's heavy, but fits right around the wrist. Just delivers an exceptional level of comfort here for this watch. Beautiful. I'll put one more on. We're looking at, that's green dial. Here we go. Hottest color. So Venom Kevin, we've talked about him a couple times tonight.
Yep.
In his collection for the expo, he had a bunch of turquoise dials.
He did.
And it was part of his collection. He had more that went along with it.
Right.
He actually won, he got runner-up.
He did.
In the expo. We had 2 days of expos.
Right.
And the judges judged, and he was runner-up. So that was pretty cool. He was
cool.
pretty happy about that.
That's cool. Congratulations, Kevin.
Yeah. All right, here's that turquoise dial. This one is CDW 0086 to be able to get in this variation. CDW 0086. All right. Well, we're going to move on here. These watches will have to reassemble later, so I don't know what colors go where. Yeah. And we're running out of time, so we'll just organize the watches after. All right, KJ, we got 2 watches left.
2 left. We could do it.
Let me throw this one your way. This is going to be the Flying Fox.
The Flying Fox.
I don't know if you've had experience with Flying Fox before, but
I've had it in my hand. I've had it on the wrist. This one is super sharp.
It's a Shaq one, I believe.
See that?
Am I right?
Shaq-a-rooney.
Shaq-alicious.
Shaq-alicious.
All right, so this is the Flying Fox. Shaq edition, numbered limited edition, number 1 out of 2,000. I'll get back in the screen here for a second. Let me just double check the price on this. No way. Okay, we got it. We're going to spend equal time on these last 2 watches. So you know what the price is on this watch? Renee, this is number 17.
17.
Don't look. What do you think the price is for that number 1 Shaq? That has 72 diamonds on it.
Oh, 72.
72 diamonds.
You're going to blow me away probably with the price. I don't even want to say a number because I don't know. I'm anticipating.
Okay. $599.
Oh, you're serious?
Number 1 out of 2,000.
Oh, wow.
Shaq, Flying Fox. Look at that.
Look at that. Look at that.
8040B movement, a movement we rarely use.
It's a rare movement.
Where you got the Grand Date window at the very top of the dial, and then also a chronograph. The Flying Fox is cool. That crown protector is off the charts.
Look at that.
There's a side plate off to the opposite side from the crown. Yeah, show the side plate too.
Oh, the side.
Yeah,
see that. There's detail right there. Look at that. I love that stuff.
Yeah, I have 1 Flying Fox, maybe a second one. I can't remember off the top of my head. But I love the construction. It's a heavier watch.
It is.
I don't have the weight on it. But 72 diamonds, Shaq. You get diamonds around the top 2 subdials. And then I think you get another 12 diamonds on the rehat there with those blue faceted pillows that are highly polished for the hour markers. Yeah, I mean, here we go. I'll take it real quick. And the dial detail, Swiss movement designation, crown protector. that crown protector is just awesome. Like,
that is awesome.
it's just perfectly designed and created, and it just fits in perfectly. Big watch, but look at this. Push this down. Look on the inside. You get to see that grande window at the very top here. And then Shaq, here are the diamonds are on the top 2 subdials. And then all the way around the rehat, you can see those diamonds there for the 12-hour markers on the inside. Look at this. There's even some of that post work that goes along here. Same that matches up with the crown over here. Blue, that furnace blue function pushers. And look at this over here off to the side. There's an additional plate held down by these screws for the watch. And then even right here too, all the little detailed, like the blue going around all the different rider tabs on this watch. All right, $599.90. You know, while we're here, I'm just going to pull out this last watch and we're going to show these last two together. Same price, different watch. We're looking at, it's a fusion of both the same price. These aren't number ones, but the same price. We'll get into these timepieces here. This is also another, both number one, excuse me. Shaq timepiece for under $600, the number one out of 2000 yet again. And this is that fusion. The fusion of that chaos for the base, for the case, and for the bracelet. And we're getting into the Venom Generation 3 bezel, that highly complex bezel design of this watch. Did I hand the Flying Fox to you yet?
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
Okay, here, you haven't held then this watch.
No.
Here, let's do this. Oh yeah, that's right. You had that watch on your wrist for about 2 minutes. I forgot. So this one right here, we're looking at, that's a number one for the Shaq, for the Flying Fox, $599. Number one out of 2000. And then we also have that Chaos Fusion with the Venom Generation 3 bezel, $599, number one out of 2000 for that timepiece.
Shelly S. said, that baby is mine. I just bought it. I think she's talking about the Flying Fox.
Shelly S.
Shelly S.
Oh, Shelly is out of California, I think.
Yeah.
I know Shelly.
Okay.
Shelly, did you buy that one? Just say yes, and we'll just focus on then the chaos. Let's just hear. It takes about 10 seconds is the delay.
Gotcha.
So we should be looking up. So Shelly just confirm, Shelly, it was a Flying Fox, and we'll pull that out of the shot and just go on the chaos. See, save some best for last.
Yes, sir.
Oh, he did. Okay. So I'm going to take this off. Congratulations, Shelly. Very good.
Nice.
All right, so we have one left. That's one heck of a buy.
Bye. When you said the price, honestly, my jaw, it didn't literally do it, but it wanted to hit the floor.
I even said, like, at first, I'm like, and these aren't number ones at this price. I'm like, wait, they are number ones at this price. So,
yes.
All right, we got 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
3 minutes to go. So we have the base right here, the base of the Chaos, that bracelet that everybody loves. The bracelet is so fluid. You got the oversized green pins going through for the watch. And then you have that, we talked about it earlier on one of the watches we had earlier tonight. The bezel has the 20 different components making up this bezel. You have the outer ring, the inner ring, the 6 different bricks in gold tone, and then there are 12 different screws. One screw here holding in every brick, 6 of those. And then this screw is actually holding together the outer ring and the inner ring of the bezel. Flame fusion crystals, you get that scratch resistance and impact resistance on that domed crystal. And here we go. I'll just show you the number one on the back. Let me just find it. Oh, here we go. The sticker is still on the back. Apparently, one of the favorite comments I ever made on all 8 podcasts so far was like, how long have you worn a watch with that sticker on the back and not realized, or something like that? I guess that was like something everybody loved.
It happened.
I wish I had like something like that for every hour of every show, but I'm still working on that. So, yeah, number one, you guys, this is under $600 to get a number one. Last watch of the show. We're going to pull it in about 30 seconds, and then we're going to sign off here. But you get then, for this movement on the inside, we have the 50/50C from Ronda, which I really like. You have a dual disc window right down here. You have a dual sub dial that's going to measure your chronograph in both 30 minutes and 12 hours. You have your fast runner also and your perpetual seconds. And check out the diamonds, 62 diamonds. You get diamonds over for all the hour markers, and look at the number 12 up there. That's a beauty. The green and that gold.
37761.
37761. $599. Only one person gets this because there's only one number one, and this is it. You get this watch with that sticker on the back. Or I'm not going to peel it off, but there's a part of me that just wants to catch it with my nail, right?
Just a little bit. Right?
I'm not going to do it.
No,
I'm going to refrain.
No.
All right. Well, we got 30 seconds left, so I appreciate it, Bud, for you and your wife coming down here today and to be able to come down, hang out for 3 hours.
Yep.
If you guys want to take any pictures from in the studio real quick, we'll do that. I got to just rearrange the watches.
Cool.
And we're going to go out and get one quick one.
Yep.
And then you guys send you guys back home. So, and it's my turn to come up there next.
Yeah.
Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good. Just let me know when.
All right.
We'll make it happen.
Anything on social media you want people to follow you on? Throw your handle out or?
Kevin James on Facebook, Bumblebee of Orlando on IG and TikTok.
Okay. Bumblebee of Orlando on IG, Instagram, and also TikTok. Kevin James on Facebook. Give this guy a follow. He's legit. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Jaime. Thank you, Renee. And also thank you remotely, Greg, for, well, not remotely, but he's working remotely. Thank you, Greg, for everything tonight. So everything went smooth. Loved it. We'll catch you next week. We'll either be 7 or 8 o'clock. We'll figure that out in the next few days. I'll post that on social media. So take care, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Take care.